Yo, chat. We're about to get in there today. We're about to really get right in there today, okay? Alright, never mind the fact that I'm playing the event right now, okay? I'm trying to get more Chronicle chips. I want to make my deck even shinier. Let me check the chat real quick. Um. Hey, Peter. Hey, Peter. What's good? What's good? How you doing, Ali? I hope you had a good day too. Please be nice. I'm actually a lot meaner on text than I am in person. So I am gonna be nicer today. Um, like because on text I'm trying to be funny. I'm mainly just trying to be funny. I don't actually like I'm not really trying to be mean. I just like I get so passionate. All right, guys. So you know what? Actually, let me show you my. Oh shit! Yes, I got my box chips. Before I get into the swing of things, let me show you my deck I've been using for the event. 3 of each Suship, 1 Painful Decision, 3 Megamorph, 3 Power of the Guardians, and a Molten Destruction. 3 of each Xyz. Easy fucking money, bro. I mean, like, I'm sure that you could probably optimize this further, but I'm fine. I only started the event today just because I want these goddamn box chips. Not box chips, my bad. The Chronicle chips. Hopefully I get something good. Come on, guys. Okay, Aurora, I'm not mad at it. Aurora could be nice. Let's see. Let's see if Aurora looks good on what I'm trying to make look good. Actually. Alright, I think this is what I want to look pretty. So let's see if Aurora looks good on it. It's alright. It's alright. I don't know. We'll see about it later. But yeah, guys, first of all, let's flex on you guys. I said in the chat that in the video I actually was holding back on my flexing. So take a look at my amazing golden dark magician. Hey, Crimson Reaper 5. I notice you. Master Duel stream when? I don't play Master Duel, bro. It's kind of like if you ask me when I'm gonna stream League of Legends, I just don't play the game, bro. Same thing with Master Duel, man. I'm only gonna be streaming games I like. I'll take a look at Salvation. Can I ask which deck you're using for Vector's raid event? Yes, you can. How do you make your IP best looking? I haven't decided yet, man. I haven't decided how I'm gonna make my IP look. But yeah, I'll show you guys my raid event deck. And I'll have that on the screen for a second while I check the poll. Okay, yeah, 69 people say they want to see me open the packs. So I'm going to open up my packs, okay? And then I'll set up another poll afterwards. Hey, Hema, how you doing? So this is definitely going to be like after the pack opening, I'm going to be mainly doing Dark Magician stuff. And I'm going to be looking at people's deck lists. I'm going to be looking at people's replays. I'm going to be looking at people's techs. So if you want me to watch your replay on stream with Dark Magician or against Dark Magician even, then go to the Discord. The link is in the description and DM me your friend code. If you have an image to show me, then show me for your deck list and stuff. But yeah, let's get into this pack opening, guys. I haven't fully taken a look at this box, but I have looked at the URs. I'm very interested in this box. One thing I will say is it does suck to have 2 main boxes in a row. That is rough, but this is a pretty high value. Obviously, everyone wants the Borrowload Savage. 1 copy. And we got Decode Talker Heat Soul. Now, this might not actually be as good in Duel Links as it is in Master Duel and TCG, because it pays 1,000 life points. You could do that a couple times in the TCG, and that wasn't too bad. You still got 6k life points left, bro. After doing it once on your turn, once on the opponent's turn. In Duel Links, bro, that's half your life points, man. Doing it once on your turn, once on the opponent's turn. Of course, that does mean that it does trigger it's the other part of its quick effect faster, but like it does put you in a lot more danger life points wise. Rocket Synchron, I actually haven't looked at the skill yet, so I guess I'll have a look at the skill to see if we need 3 copies of this bad boy. Show my IP? Yeah, I'll show my IP. I don't think I have anything special on IP yet. So I could put Aurora on IP. I think Aurora does look good. Do I got any special names? You know what? Actually, the purple name looks kind of nice on IP, not gonna lie. Actually, this looks tough. I might invest in this, not gonna lie. Let's have a look at that skill. Okay, here it is. Transcending Strength. You're not normal special summon except Dark Dragons. Okay. Reveal Rocket Synchron specifically in your hand. Oh my fucking god. I know we can search for it with tuning. Is there anything else we can search it with? Search with it. Sorry, search it with. Yeah, I was right the first time. Then add basically a rocket and a quick launch to hand. And if you control Borrowload, you can play a rocket or Borrow. Cool, that's pretty good. So it looks like we might need 3 Synchron. But let me see if there's any other way to search for it, because fuck nah. Hell nah. I do not want to wail for 3 copies of this, because I am going to be totally in debt. So this guy can search it. This guy can search for it if it's sent to the grave. So we search for it, and then normal summon it to summon it. I think that's fine. But then how we searching this? That's the problem. Son of a bitch. Anyway, Robina, you want 3 of that bad boy. Valence, I don't even know anything about Valence, so I don't even know if I give a shit. The liberals are here. The Liberomancer, bro. The liberals have taken over Duel Links, guys. The stream looks dark. Yeah, it's because I'm dark, bro. I'm dark. I mean, you're new to Duel Links, and I really like Chaos Magician due to his Destroy effect. Is it really that bad based on your last Dark Magician video? I will talk more in depth about that later on in the stream. But don't worry, I will remember. I will remember, I promise. I am definitely going to talk at length about it. On your mark? Oh, on your mark searches it too. Oh, fuck. Yes, Ali. Yeah, you goat, bro. You're fucking goated. Maybe we don't have to play 3. Do you think Fluunderies is worth getting? Yes. Okay, let me tell you why. Where is it? Where is it? Here you go. Fluunderies and Empen. If it's tribute summoned, you can add a Flu back row to hand, and then normal summon a monster. Any monster, by the way. While this tribute summoned card is on the monster zone, Your opponent cannot activate the effects of special summon monsters they control in attack position. This is crazy. It means if they want to activate their effects from special summon monsters, they have to summon in defense mode. That puts them behind. It also means that link monsters are screwed. Once per battle during damage calc, you can banish a card from your hand, and your opponent's monster's attack and defense is halved. So it's really good in battle too, because it effectively, with its 2700 body, is more like 5400. But anyway, moving on. Armor Knight is finally in the game. For one reason, the advent of Adventure makes things a lot better for consistency. And Icarus Attack, very very good card. You tribute a winged beast to destroy any 2 cards. That's pretty cool. It was a classic card back in the day, but we'll see whether or not it's good in Duel Links. Doesn't M-Pen just turn off link monsters? Yes, it does. M-Pen does turn off link monsters, and it Flu does more than that too. Okay, they can also hand rip the opponent, which is kind of crazy. I might end up showing that combo in the video. But yeah, what I'm hoping for, I'm trying to get Borrow Load, I'm trying to get Rocket Synchron, I'm trying to get Robina, and I'm trying to get Advent. You know, and obviously the SRs. So here we go. Let's just fucking rip through these bitches. Let's hope that we're lucky, guys. Okay, Splash Mage, very good card. We finally have it. It's about damn time. Ripping through these bitches, bro. I do not give a shit about the liberals. I'm not a conservative, by the way, but I do not give a shit about the liberals. Also, all of the Fluunderies, they're normal summons. Like, they let you get bonus normal summons, kind of like the spirits. Winda doesn't stop you from comboing with them. Also, you can play Pot of Duality. Okay, got my Heat Soul. Only need one of that one. Okay, Valence. I don't care. I mean, maybe I will care one day. Maybe it's so cracked, I just don't know any of them. Trisbana, another really high power Link monster. I'm kind of happy that it's here. When this card is added to SR Dream Tickets, it's going to be one of the better SR Dream Ticket options. Okay. That's the other boss monster. I don't remember what it does, because it wasn't very popular in the TCG. I actually quit the TCG around, what's it called? What format was it? It was about when, okay, got my Robina, good shit. Damn, what's that Xyz deck that locks your zones? I quit the TCG when that deck came out. There's a Hallow here. What was it? Hallow, the Spirit of Tricks. Happy Halloween, guys. Happy Halloween. Oh, okay. I might read that later. Might be cool. Let me see if the chat has said anything. I'm not resetting the box, man. Hell nah. Okay, got my Striker Dragon, good shit. Okay, already have that one. Halloween. Okay. We are really just rushing through this, because it would be amazing if I could just get that synchro. If I see a white card in the back, I feel like it's guaranteed. It's a ritual monster. No, don't worry about it. I think there's only one synchro in this box, right? We'll check after this pull. There's so many cards in this box I don't give a damn about. There's only one synchro in here, I think. Yeah, only one synchro. So guys, if it's about to be a UR and we see that it's white in the back, we know that we're winning. Okay? If it's brown in the back, then hopefully it's Rocket Synchron. So that's what we're hoping for. Okay. Oh man, there's so many weird reprints in this box, man. Okay, that field spell, pretty damn good. I think you play one or two. Come on, bro. Let's get that synchro. Is this it? Probably not. Oh my god, it's the synchro, guys. Everyone slap like now. Everyone slap like right now, guys. Oh my god. Well, guys. Bro. Why not opening a 15 bundle? That's a great point. It's a great point. It's a great point. I should get the bundle. Must dig? Only if you really like dragons or flu, to be honest with you, bro. But yeah, guys, we got our Barload Savage Dragon. Let's just... Oh, man. Let's get our rocket. If we're lucky and we get both the rocket and the advent, then I might be tempted to reset. Because I don't know if I give a shit about the rest of this box. Okay, we got that other support card that Loom didn't want to wait for. Okay, let's get that bundle. Let's get that bundly-undle. Where is it? It's unfortunately box chips. Like, I would prefer it if it was... if it was Chronicle chips, that would be fantastic. Let's go. Give us the Rocket Synchron, man. We can get started on rockets if we just get the one Synchron, bro. Do we need more than one? I don't think we need more than one, man, because we can search for it so easily. With the on your mark and the tuning. Like, that even might be too much. Unless we got some kind of discard fodder. Like, is 3 best? Probably. I don't know. But, like, we can only synchro summon once during the game, anyway. Because we got the one synchro. It's not like we're synchro summoning other things. Didn't get anything there, but that's okay. It's good to get it regardless. Come on, let's go. Okay, Icarus attack. Good. See, guys, I'm impatient now. I'm skipping. Boom. Nothing. It is good. Small World got reprinted. That's cool. Okay. The Valiance. I don't care. Come on, bro. Let's get the Rocket Synchron, man. Stop playing with me. Bro, no URs from that one. No URs from that one? Yo, this is crazy. This is ridiculous. Okay. I think that was... Yeah, we got what we needed. We got what we needed. We could reset with the Rey Mysterio number, guys. It's 619. Bro, it's the Rey Mysterio number, and we got our Rocket and our Advent in the same pull. And the Absa router. That's cool. That's cool. We can reset. Fuck the fucking liberals, bro. I don't care. And then, last pull. Come on, give me another rocket. That would be fantastic. Oh, awesome. Well, that's not what I meant. But hey, at least I can start testing with the deck later. But yeah, guys, let's get into some Dark Magician shit, okay? Now, what did you guys vote for on the poll? Pause. Let me see. 78% want to start with the tech cards. Okay. Who prefers cosmetics? Holo? How you doing, Socrates? Is that special new? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Peter, I'm not... That's a retarded thing to say, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so looks like we're gonna look at tech cards first. Alright, okay. Whew. Let's pull up all of the tech cards that people like to play in Dark Magician. I'm gonna make a new deck list just to pull up all the tech cards. Hold on. This is my other Dark Magician deck. I'm okay with deleting it. This is the one that has Cosmic and Needy Crow in it. I'm okay with these because they are helpful in the meta right now. And of course, if you're trying to cut things down, 2 Dark Magician is fine, 1 Circle is fine, 2 Navigation is fine. Everything else I don't think you should play less of. Okay, tech cards. Actually, let me just pull up Dark Magician in general. If I'm putting it on the screen, it's because I see people playing it or too many copies of it. Or too little copies of it. Or not enough of it. Let's see. What else? Am I missing anything? Here we go. Yeah, definitely that one. Oh my goodness. What else was there that people were playing? Let me go have a look. Hey, thanks for the subscription, God Lotus. Happy to have you here. I hope you enjoy the channel, man. How you doing, Bazzy? Bazzy, are you Australian? You will discuss every single DM card? Not necessarily. I mean, that's what the guide is for. The guide is for telling you what to do. This video is telling you what not to do. Yes, I was about to put Beatrice in, but thank you for that, Holo. Let's see what else. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, can't believe this. I really cannot believe that this is even something that I have to bring up. This is so stupid. Oh my god. Like, oh my god, this is stupid. This is so stupid. The fact that it ever even happened, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Where is it? I might even run out of extra deck spots, bro. Thousand Knife, great point, man. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think anyone's even really playing the knife, which is good, but I should talk about it more in depth, since that is my promise. I am gonna talk about everything you should not do. Playing Summoner's Art, it's crazy. And yes, I've seen people playing Piercing the Darkness. What the hell are we doing, bro? What are we doing? This is crazy. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Let me put the Beatrice targets in there too. This isn't a new thing either. I've been playing Dark Magician for 8 years. Or longer, to be honest. I haven't counted specifically. But it has been at least 8 years. And in that time, the vast majority of Dark Magician players have just been completely devoid of a game plan. Their whole thought process is, oh man, I really like this card. So they try to play it. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Yes, I have seen Beat Cop. I'm not going to mention Artemis because that's kind of implied with Invoked. Did I put Magician of... Yes, I did. Did I put Chaos Form in here? I don't think I did. I mean, I know I already talked about Chaos Form in the video, but I want to talk about it more. Okay. Oh my god, dude. It actually, like, pisses me off. The entire time of playing Dark Magician. Literally the entire time, everyone has been actively trying to play this shit wrong. It's actually ridiculous. And now it's worse than ever because the deck is actually stronger than it's ever been. So people can actually get away with really shit deck lists because the skill just rewards you for having a shit deck list. And let me tell you something, guys. It's a core fundamental principle of deck building. Just because it works doesn't mean it can't be better. If something works, then that's just a testament to how good the deck is, okay? That doesn't mean it's optimized. Good is here. Better is here. If you choose to be here instead of here, that is you making a bad decision. Of course, bad is here, right? Bad is here, good is here, better is here. Being here is better than being here, but it's not, that doesn't make it a good decision when you have the option of being here, okay? You could be here, but you choose to be here, and you think it's fine because you're not here. But it's not fine. Nah, bro, stop playing Piercing the Darkness, I'm sorry. Why is it not on the tier list? I cannot discuss that here. I feel like that would be... I don't think YouTube is ready for me to talk about that. But I do believe that it should be on the tier list. I will say that. How you doing, Alex? Okay. Alright. Open the Super Mini Box 5 times and didn't get IP. Unlucky, bro. Unlucky. We should be getting Goddess soon, at least. But, you know, if you don't have IP, you can play the Linkaribo and Proxy Dragon. That's fine, too. Okay. So, let's talk about all these cards, man. Let's talk about all of them. I think the one people want to know about most is Dark Magic Attack. Oh my god. Alright, let's take a look at the popular cards. Let's take a look at the popular back row specifically. Book of Eclipse. Alright. Forbidden Droplet. Okay. Cosmic Cyclone. Okay. Infinite Impermanence. Alright. Ultimate Fusion. Okay. MST. Majesty. And then after that, the popular shit is Dark Magician. But what back row here are we afraid of? Are we afraid of a Book of Eclipse? No. If you negate my Rod, my deck is built that I'm okay for you to do so. If you negate my Souls, my deck is built to be okay if you do so. If I'm discarding cards with Rod, it's not for the draw, it's for the discard. And the discard is for cost. I'm primarily trying to discard my Magician's Navigations, okay? And I know what the fuck does this have to do with Dark Magic Attack. We're talking about what back row do we care about. If these two get negated, these are the only effect monsters where we really care about. Okay, if this gets negated, that's fine. We can still use other searches to get to Dark Magician, okay? This deck has search redundancy. It means if one search gets negated, we either play more copies of it, so we're likely to open it, or we just didn't care about the search. We have another search to use. You know what I mean? These two are amazing in conjunction with each other because they're easy to get on board and they can go into IP. And this guy can bring himself back. This guy can discard our navigations. That's all I care about for these guys. The fact that they can also be consistency pieces. This guy gets Dark Magician Engraved. That's really good. It turns our Soul Servant into a draw 2 just by summoning this guy. Okay? Whether or not he draws 2, he's already done his job. And this guy, if he gets negated, first of all, he baited out a negate that isn't going to be used on IP. That's important. If they negate Rod, it means that they're not negating IP. What would they be negating Rod? They'd be negating with Droplet. They'd be negating with Imperm. Those two would be negating Rod. That's a Droplet or an Imperm that isn't being used on IP. So Rod is doing its job one way or the other. We're good as long as we go into IP. And we have the Soul Servant. That's going to give us our shit anyway, okay? I'll talk more about Soul Servant later because that's important. So if we're getting negated, we don't care. So why waste a search on Dark Magic Attack when we could instead use that search to invalidate the negate by searching what we would have searched for, right? So we could search Dark Magic Attack to get rid of their negation. Or we could search the card we're searching so that if they do negate us, it doesn't matter. Okay, next. Book of Eclipse. That's another important one. Let's say they use Book of Eclipse on Dark Magician. We can't activate our Dark Magic Attack anymore because it's face down. That's the big weakness of Dark Magic Attack. Book of Moon too. I know that Book of Moon is popular. If I search Dark Magic Attack and I play one copy, you wouldn't want to play more than one copy because you're not going to use it more than once. There's no point to playing more than one. So you search for it, right? You search for it with Rod. You search for it with a skill. You search for it with Soul Servant. All of those ways, the opponent knows you have it. So you summon Dark Magician. They know you have it. They can do something about it because you have Dark Magician on the field. So Book of Eclipse is if you want to get rid of Book of Eclipse, just play around it. Summon your 2 monsters, and you use your skill to get the what's it called? The dragon master, the ultimate dragon face down on the field. That's you get your 3. They're just gonna book you. You have 3 face down monsters. The way you play around Book of Eclipse is not by destroying it. It is by only summoning one of these. Using Ultimate Fusion to fuse off your Ultimate Dragon and either Dark Magician or BLS to go into Dragon Master Knight. then link off into Nightmare Phoenix to pop a back row. That doesn't require a search. It means that we can use our search on something more focused on our game plan instead of this that they know that we are going to have. If they don't need to know this is there. And by doing so, if they flip us down, we can still summon this and we're okay. Because they would want to wait for us to get 3 in order to really get their value out of the Book of Eclipse. So linking this shit off with the fusion is good shit, bro. It's really good shit. Let me see if the chat has said anything, asked any questions. You're always scared of Cosmic and MST. I'm so glad you brought that up, man. So Cosmic and MST are really the main threats, and I will also say Majesty, because that can also destroy back row. These 3 are the main threats that we would be worried about. This doesn't really stop that shit from happening, man. If we activate DMA, they're still gonna chain these bad boys, man. They're still gonna chain them, so what does it matter? Wouldn't it be better to bait that shit out before making our plays? This is anti-bait, okay? If the opponent has a dangerous back row, truly dangerous back row that we don't want to face against, we don't want to telegraph our only way of getting rid of it. We want to bait it out. Baiting it out is always going to be so much more beneficial in a deck like this than telling them, hey, I'm about to break your back row. Here's your chance to do something about it. We don't want to give them a chance to do something about it. Hell no. We can stop them from stopping us, from stopping them by playing through it, not trying to ignore it. Dark Magic Attack solves a problem in a way that doesn't actually work. It solves the back row problem, but it doesn't actually solve the back row problem because we have to get Dark Magician on field. Before we activate this, the opponent has an opportunity to do something about it before we even get to activate it. They know we have this because we search for it. So you could say, well, what if I summon Dark Magician, then use the skill to search for this? That is a better usage. However, you already used the skill to get Dark Magician out the vast majority of the time with Magician Souls. So it is better to take the road of least resistance by playing through the back row, which this deck is very good at doing. This deck has absolutely no problem dealing with back row. And let me also say, we have a better card than this. Okay? We have Circle. Circle doesn't wait. It doesn't let the opponent have a chance. We have Circle. We summon Dark Magician. Boom, Circle says, I want to banish that. It doesn't give the opponent a chance to say, hey, do something before I do this. It says, no, right now I'm banishing your shit. And that's really much better. Does anybody have any questions so far about Dark Magic Attack? Have I not explained anything enough? The opening was a bit mid, I'm not gonna lie, Alex. What do we do against Blue Eyes going second? So, Blue Eyes going second, let me just search Blue Eyes real quick. Blue Eyes is going to have this, most likely. They're going to have this to make their Blue Eyes untargetable. They're going to have Majesty to non-target destroy our cards. They're going to have Spirit Dragon to tag out into Azure to protect their shit from both targeting and destruction. They're going to have Jet Dragon to protect their shit from destruction. There's a lot of targeting destruction. There's a lot of destruction protection. There's a lot of wiping our own board. So we need a way to get through that shit, man. How do we get through that shit? Truthfully, the way we want to go through that shit, this guy's pretty good at getting through that shit, man. So our main focus, the fact that they are so well protected, it means that we can't try to get rid of them through regular means. We just want to make sure that we can set up a defense or go for game in a way that Majesty can't stop. We could go through getting through Majesty in a couple of ways. We could, first of all, use Ultimate Fusion to bait out this guy, so that we we get that shit out of the way, so that we don't have to deal with the grave negate, so that we can use the grave effect to draw 2 cards. That's important. We also get rid of the we try to go into Nightmare Unicorn, and they're probably already going to have this face up, and the True Light is probably what set the Majesty in the first place, so our Nightmare Phoenix is going to know where to pop the Majesty. So that's the main thing we try to do first. They also tend to play Eclipse, so if you do Fusion Summon, then you use the Fusion and one of your 2 starters to go into it, and then use your other starter afterwards. So that's how you deal with the Majesty. How do you deal with the rest of the shit they do? Hopefully, you can go for the OTK play of getting Illusion of Chaos. Illusion of Chaos can get you Dark Magician. You can use Secrets of Dark Magic to go into Master of Chaos. And the Magician Souls can send 1 Dark Magician to grave, and the Illusion of Chaos can search the other Dark Magician. That way, when you fuse off into Master of Chaos, you have 2 Dark Magicians in grave and 1 Dark Magician girl in grave. That's 3 total, so that you can get Dark Magic expanded to make your Master of Chaos unaffected by anything else that they might have. And this is going to be able to revive the Light Fusion that you used to go into Nightmare Phoenix. And they would probably try to negate that, and we would protect it with Dark Magic expanded. And we tribute the fusion and another Dark Monster, Magician Souls or Rod, to banish the non-target, banish their shit, which none of their protection protects them from non-target banish. And this guy's going to be 4K, go direct. And I believe this took 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we are in Nibiru territory, but Dark Magic Expanded is going to protect the Monster of Chaos from Nibiru. The only issue being that they are still going to have a Nibiru on their field, but we are going to get a bonus token that we can potentially use, maybe alongside an Apprentice, to perhaps go into... does it work with IP? Yeah, we can go into IP with a token and Apprentice, and potentially use that to stay in the game. Like, we're actually very good going second. The tools we have, we're going to have such a big hand. We're also going to be, like, when we do use the Ultimate Fusion, we're probably going to be popping the True Light itself too. So they are going to have to be wary of that. Like, we're actually pretty good against Blue Eyes, I'm not going to lie, guys. And if we have Circle, it gets even worse. If we have Circle, it gets even worse. Where's Weatherman streams? Oh, he's got a job recently, so he's getting situated. I don't know when he's going to be back yet. Do you think Flu is going to be good? Yeah, it is. Flu is probably going to be good. I think that their boss monster is such a good floodgate. Navigation Engraved can disable Majesty, but going second is not going to be turned on just yet. That's why when we go second, we're not really focusing on getting Navigations Engraved. Going second, we're a lot more focused on just OTKing them. If we can get Navigations Engraved for, like, if we can't OTK them, then it will be beneficial though. But the main thing is breaking their board as much as you possibly can, which Dark Magician is pretty good at. Um, and if you can set up any defense, it's probably going to be too much for them because the way we break their board is so huge that any grind game is going to be a lot. Whatever grind game you'd happen to go for. And let me. So, does anybody have any other questions regarding Dark Magic Attack? You tried DMA just to make sure that I was right about DMA being bad. I went neg 2 and my opponent still managed to get value out of his back row. I will never play that card. Yeah, see, Jacob gets it, bro. Because the problem with back row these days, like, Dark Magic Attack was good when the main back row in the game was Battle Phase back row. Wall of Disruption, Mirror Wall, Enemy Controller. Like, you get rid of that shit with Dark Magic Attack. That actually makes sense. Because that's stuff that they aren't really going to benefit from flipping up. Like, they're going to lose their shit, and you just went plus. Right? But for the last, like, the vast majority of the game's history, we've had chainable back row, bro. From the moment we got Floodgate Trap Hole, the card was kind of trash. Because you could just Floodgate the Dark Magician, and they can't use Dark Magic Attack. Even worse when we got Canadia, which became the other Floodgate. The Floodgate Trap Hole, that is. Not an actual Floodgate. You're cog with Altergeist? Yeah, of course I'm proud of you, bro. Hell yeah. Tech 1 Mahad. Haha, man. Oh my goodness. I cleared your misunderstanding? Fantastic. Anyone else watching the stream afterwards, if you have any questions regarding Dark Magic Attack, this is probably the most misunderstood card in the deck that people still try to play. So if you have any more questions that you feel like I haven't answered, please let me know in the comments. And everybody watching the stream right now, please like the stream so that more people can see the stream. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, moving on. Thousand Knives. Now this one's going to be really quick. It's very bad for very similar reasons as Dark Magic Attack, except it's even worse. It targets. Oh god, it not only targets, but it destroys. It targets, it destroys, and you have to control Dark Magician. This shit is not going to happen, man. Like, the opponent is going to have destruction protection, targeting protection. They're going to have a way to prevent Dark Magician from staying face up on the field. And worst of all, what if they don't care if it gets destroyed? They could, like, maybe it has a grave effect, or maybe they can revive it that like has a quick effect. And then maybe the one thing that makes this card completely invalid is we have Circle, which is basically a strict upgrade on Thousand Knives anyway, because this one also targets one card on the field. It can target a monster just like Thousand Knives does, but it can also target a back row, and it banishes that shit, and it's a consistency card, and it provides disruption. This is a strict upgrade over Thousand Knives, so there is no reason to play Thousand Knives when you have Circle in the game. Also, this is a one-time use. You can use this as many turns as you have. Okay? Whew. Alright. Guys, I need to have a drink before I continue. Let me know if you have any thoughts about Thousand Knives, but I doubt that anyone's going to be defending Thousand Knives. Okay. Let me check the chat real quick. Bro, Thousand Knives, bro. I love it lore-wise. Same with Dark Magic Attack. Lore-wise, I love those cards. But I have to be honest with you guys. They suck ass. They're so bad. So... Thousand Regrets. Facts, bro. That's big facts. The skill alone is a better Thousand Knives. Yeah, true, bro. This skill, for real, will pop a face-up card. You're exactly right, bro. If you think Thousand Knives is a third of Majesty, nah, it's actually worse than that, man. Because Majesty doesn't target. Majesty can be used on the opponent's turn. Majesty does not require you to control Blue Eyes White Dragon. It requires you to show that you have it. See, it's so much worse than Majesty in a plethora of ways. Like, and Majesty's a quickie. Like, so get the hell out of here. I'm going to take these out of the deck since I've explained them now. So I guess now I'll go with the Eye of Timaeus. This is a card I actually very much understand people wanting to play. If you guys don't know what Eye of Timaeus does, you target a Dark Magician monster. So let me type in Dark Magician. Any monster with Dark Magician in the name while it's on the field. Does it have Dark Magician in the name? No, it doesn't. So this guy, if this guy is on the field, you can use it on him. If this guy is on the field, you can use it on him. If this guy's on the field, you can use it on him. Now, this guy is not treated as Dark Magician while he's on the field, but he is a Dark Magician monster. Okay? This guy is a Dark Magician monster, but he is not treated as Dark Magician. That obviously Dark Magician is Dark Magician. Dark Magician Girl is a Dark Magician monster, but it is not treated as Dark Magician. Okay? Why is all of this relevant? Why is the name relevant here? Okay? The name is relevant because of the way that Eye of Timaeus is worded and the way that all of the searching in the deck is worded. Now, what does Rod say? You can add a spell or trap from your deck to your hand that specifically lists the card Dark Magician. The card Dark Magician. The card, the singular card called Dark Magician. Eye of Timaeus does not mention the card Dark Magician. It mentions the archetype Dark Magician. So Rod can't search Eye of Timaeus. Some of you watching this video might already know that. So we cannot search Eye of Timaeus in Dark Magician. There's just no way to do it. Because all of the searching in our deck requires cards to mention Dark Magician itself. The original, the OG. If it mentions Dark Magician, we can search it. The Eye of Timaeus mentions the archetype, not the card, so it can't actually be searched. It's very sad. It's very sad because this card has a very nice effect. You can, using just the Eye of Timaeus and your Dark Magician monster, go into a fusion that mentions him. That's fantastic. You could go into a cool little Dark Magicians. You could go into Cavalry. You could go into Dark... I'm not going to lie to you guys. The Dark Magician fusions in this game are not that good. There's one in the game there's one in Yu-Gi-Oh! That isn't in Duel Links yet that is very good with Eye of Timaeus, but we don't have it. So, I mean, like, we could go into Monster of Chaos with Eye of Timaeus. That would be solid. It means that we wouldn't need the Illusion of Chaos. Not that Illusion of Chaos is necessarily bad to have. I mean, it's good to have to search your other stuff too. But Eye of Timaeus would be a much better card if it was searchable. But now that we have established that Eye of Timaeus isn't searchable, how do you build a game plan around Eye of Timaeus? Why do I ask about a game plan? Because when you're building a deck, you want the deck to have a plan. If you want to beat the opponent, you need a plan to be able to beat them. It's kind of a simple concept, but it's something that a lot of Dark Magician players seem to ignore when they build this deck. The game plan aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh! If I want to beat my opponent and my plan involves the Eye of Timaeus, I'm like, okay, for whatever reason, I have this bad matchup against this deck, but if I can just get Eye of Timaeus to get into this particular fusion, I'm just clicking this one just for the sake of the argument. And if I can just get into this particular fusion, I can have a way better matchup against this deck. So that case, If that's what Eye of Timaeus does, that means that we need Eye of Timaeus, but we can't search for it. Ah, so if we need it but we can't get it, what do? We start doing shit like trying our best to draw into it, using souls to draw cards, using using servant to draw cards. Now these are things that we're doing already. We're already using souls to draw cards. We're already using servant to draw cards. So what's the problem, Undead? Well, if we wanted to draw into this, we would play 3 copies to ensure with all certainty that we would draw into this. What's the problem with that? Well, this card can't just activate and use Dark Magician from hand. We have to summon Dark Magician if we want to use this. That puts us in a very similar predicament to Dark Magic Attack, where they can prevent that shit from happening by getting rid of Dark Magician. It also puts us in another predicament where if the opponent has interruption, they have just so many opportunities to stop us. They can stop our souls draw. Ordinarily, in a standard Dark Magician game plan, if you negate souls, fine. I don't care. In a standard game plan, if you negate the grave effect of Soul Servant, okay, I can still play. I can use my searches more intelligently to play around Abyss Dweller or something. We can't do that if our main game plan involves the Eye of Timaeus. Because we need this card, right? If our game plan involves this card, then we need to find it. We can't search for it, but we need to find it. So, it would be better to play 1 copy so that when we get it, that's all we need. But if we play 3 copies, we're going to brick on that shit, bro. And I will say, there's a common issue that some people have when a card is bricky, that they're like, oh, well, Undead, we can just shuffle it back with the skill. Okay, let's shuffle it back with a skill. You open Dark Magician Girl and Eye of Timaeus. You have no choice but to send back Dark Magician Girl, and you're stuck with the Eye of Timaeus. The more bricks you put in your deck, the less that argument works, man. So, you want to play 1, that means you're not likely to draw into it. You play 3, you're way too likely to draw into it, and you're going to brick on that shit. But you need it. The better option for Eye of Timaeus is to not need it. The amount of shit that you have to do in your deck that to get Eye of Timaeus consistently is not worth the cost of it being bricky. We really want our hand to be full of gas, bro. We really want our hand to be full of gas. It's so important. It's not good at playing through interruption, because if our soul's draw gets negated, it's rough. And if we can't use the Soul Servant draw, that's rough. But if we open it, cool, bro. If we play 1 copy and we open it, cool. But then, you play 1 copy, you don't need it for your game plan, but you just play the 1 copy to sometimes go into a fusion. What's it doing there if it's not contributing to the game plan? You could instead, in your deck, have a card that actually contributes to your game plan in some way, rather than just having a cool card in your deck. And I'm going to explain that point too. But let me check the chat first to see if those first points had any things. Opinion on Valiance? I haven't read any of them. Yeah, I think that if the skill let us search Eye of Timaeus, I'd be more open to the idea of playing it. That being said, I don't think we really have enough fusions to justify it anyway. I'm not gonna lie. Counterpoint, if I'm gonna play DM, I want to play it as a rad massive deck, just like Yami. Now let me counter that one, Benox. There's a difference between a deck and a pile of cards. If you just play a bunch of cards you like, that is not a deck, that is a pile of cards. A deck is one cohesive strategy. We're talking about strategy here. If you want to include cards that are not part of a strategy, that's not strategic, is it? It's just a pile of cards that you like. It's no different to a binder. You gonna pull up to a duel with a binder or a deck? You know what I mean? Thank you for the subscription, Soniac. Happy to have you here. I hope you like the channel. What is this monstrosity? Oh, this isn't a deck. I'm just talking about what cards you shouldn't play. I'm not saying everything here you shouldn't play. There are some cards here that are just straight up you shouldn't play, and there are some cards here that people play the wrong ratio of. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they're here. This isn't a deck, as you can see from the extra deck. There's 12 cards in the extra deck. Sorry guys, we do not have a 12 card extra deck in Duel Links, so this is not a deck. Dark Magician is good or bad? Dark Magician is fantastic. Check out the Dark Magician Advanced Guide if you have time. It's a really good video. I'm really proud of it. Hey, how you doing, Hasoon? Happy to have you here. You don't think I'm going to put Illusion in your deck? Illusion? There's a lot of cards called Illusion, bro. This is Illusion. This is Illusion. This is Illusion. I think we've got 3 Illusions in here, man. But yeah, I think you guys get that point. But the next point for Eye of Timaeus is I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth about what makes a card reliable. So I have talked about this with Coolsy. He's probably not watching the stream. He's probably asleep right now because he's in Australia. Reliability in deck building is when a card is always good in your hand. That's my simple definition of it. Now, if we search Dark Magician, this card is always good in your hand because it gives you another search. This card's always good in your hand because it contributes to your game plan, but you don't need to play more than one of it. This card is always good because it gives you a search. This card is always good because it can help you play through things. This card is always good because it gives you a search. This card is always good because it gives you consistency and interruption. This card is always good because it provides negates for you. This card is always good because it's going to strengthen your end board. This card is always good because it's core to your game plan. This card isn't good in your hand, but we need it for the game plan. We have no choice but to play it for the game plan, and the skill can help us if we brick on it. This is also great to search, but we don't need to play more than one of it. If we play like all the cards we play one of, we're actually completely fine with opening them. The only reason we play one of them is because we can search for them. But opening them is not a bad thing. This is good to have in your hand. This is good to have in your hand. But if you have this and this, then you shuffle this back so that this can get it back for you. This is always good in your hand because it gives you a search. This is always good in your hand because it gives you consistency. Like, every good card in Dark Magician, they're always good in your hand, okay? That is the main thing. Eye of Timaeus is a card that is not always good in your hand. It is unreliable. But it's okay for a card to not necessarily be reliable. We can make an unreliable card reliable if we can search for it. And as we talked about, we cannot search for the Eye of Timaeus, so we can't reliably get it. We can't play one to reliably search the unreliable card, making it reliable. That's the unfortunate situation. Extra deck cards are always reliable because you don't have to search for them. You can easily build a game plan around extra deck cards. You can't build a game plan involving an unreliable main deck card. You know, a main deck card has to be reliable to really justify its position in your deck. Either reliable or mandatory. Timaeus is neither. It's not reliable and it's not mandatory. And if we look at the Dark Magician fusions, man, I mean, Monster of Chaos is cool, man. It's cool. It's definitely cool. But at the same time, actually properly fusion summoning it does help you to turn on the dark magic expanded that makes it worth summoning. Because if you summon it without dark magic expanded, it's not that good. This guy is not that good. This guy is not that good. We'll talk about that later. This guy's not that good. This guy's not that good. This guy's not that good. The Dark Magician fusions in Duel Links are not that good, man. And the one that is pretty good, we don't really want to summon it off Timaeus anyway. So even everything else I said aside, there's no reason to play Eye of Timaeus anyway. That's the real kicker of all this, man. There's no reason to play it. If we got Dragoon, I would still be like, I don't know. If we could search for this and we had Dragoon, I'd be like, all right, yeah, we're playing this. You know what I mean? But yeah, yeah. I feel like that sufficiently that sufficiently sums up I have Timaeus. And that brings me to the Invoked package. Oh boy. Let me check the chat real quick before I talk about the Invoked package. There's people who play 3 Salvation like, why? Yeah, exactly. There's only one field zone. Yeah, right. I mean, you can search for it, bro. You're not going to use it more than once. And if it gets destroyed, you can get it back with Servant. You know what I mean? There's no point. Look at your previous comment. Let me find it. Carries things. I just realized you're missing something that's actually really nice for Dark Magician, and that's a spell that banishes from the grave and summons a 4K beater that can attack directly. Well, first of all, this isn't my deck. And if you're watching my video, we don't necessarily need that, because guess what? The skill puts Ultimate Dragon on the field, and we can search Secrets of Dark Magic, and we can get Dark Magician in our hand too. So we can also go into that attacking directly guy pretty easily. In fact, if you watch my guide, you see me actually showing that twice. Maybe 3 times, but at least twice. So yeah, this isn't a deck, by the way. This is cards that I'm telling people that they're playing wrong, or they shouldn't be playing. But yeah, let's talk about Alistair. Okay. Okay. Maybe I should get some milk, guys, before I continue. Okay. Invoked. Ugh. So, if we're playing Invoked... Oops. Where is the rest of it? Did we talk about anything here? Yeah, we talked about the fusions, so let's get rid of them. So the Invoked package, and I guess I might as well put in Terraforming in there as well. This is a very consistent engine that, let me tell you what it does. Okay, here's the plan. You have Magical Meltdown, which searches Alistair, and then you have Alistair itself. You have Terraforming, which searches Magical Meltdown. This is 7 copies of Alistair, effectively, okay? Normal summon Alistair, on summon it searches Invocation. Then you link off Alistair into Artemis. Then you use Invocation. It sends Artemis to grave and banishes Alistair to summon Invoked Mechaba. Then in grave, Invocation can shuffle itself back into the deck to add Alistair back to your hand. Now you have Alistair back in your hand, so you can summon it again next turn, hypothetically, but also so that you could potentially discard it for the effect of Invoked Mechaba, who says, once per turn during either player's turn, when any effect is activated, you can send the same type of card, monster, spell, or trap from your hand to the grave to negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. It is technically an omni-negate. If you have a trap card in hand, you can discard the trap, negate the trap, and banish the trap. That's kind of nice. You could discard a spell, negate the spell, and banish the spell. Discard a monster, potentially including the Alistair itself, banish that monster and negate it. That's pretty good. It's removal and negation in the same effect, and it's banishing removal too, so that it gets around destruction protection, unlike most negates that remove things. So, first of all, you could call this an omni-negate because it can negate anything. I'm using can loosely here. Because you have to have the right kind of card type in your hand. So you're definitely going to have the monster. That's nice. It is helpful that you're definitely going to have a monster. And you're pretty likely to have spells and traps in hand at the end of your turn in Dark Magician, you know? But do we really want to be discarding our traps? The traps that we play in Dark Magician are Navigation, Combination, and Eternal Soul. If we have Eternal Soul, we want to set that shit. If we have Combination, we want to set this shit. If we have Navigation, we want to set that shit. Or we want to discard it on our turn so that it is a negate on the opponent's turn. If we keep this card in our hand to negate a trap with Makaba, it means that we are turning off our ability to use Navigation to negate a trap or spell. Would you prefer to negate a trap or spell? I realize this is technically like not that big of a deal, right? Because it's like, well, I mean, you know, I guess you don't need to negate that back row now, since you already have that negate in another way. So it's okay. This one can just negate a spell or monster. Fine. But the problem here is that this required your normal summon. Let me go the alternate route. Let me normal summon Magician's Rod instead. Magician's Rod searches for Soul Servant. Soul Servant puts Combination, a real Omni Negate, on top of the deck. Then we banish this card from the grave to draw 2 cards, including the Combination. So we plussed the same way that Mechaba plusses, but we got a guaranteed Omni Negate. And we can still get our backer negate from Navigation, discarding it. So, Combination is always an Omni Negate. Always an Omni Negate. Mechaba is sometimes an Omni Negate. Would I rather have sometimes an Omni Negate or always an Omni Negate? It's that little difference that makes a difference. But it's not just that. It goes further than that. If we want to benefit from the Invoked package, we need to be able to play it consistently. That means we would play 8 cards in our deck. 8 fucking cards. Do you have any idea how much of an investment 8 cards is in your main deck in Duel Links, dude? And let's say you cut it down. You're making it less reliable by doing so. But let's say you cut it down. That's still a lot. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could play 6 to 8 Invoked cards. Let's switch it around. It could be like that too. And this could potentially search for Salvation. Maybe that's cool. I don't give a shit, man. Like, however you chop it, this is a lot of deck space to do something that Rod already does by himself. Rod does this and the skill searches for it. Let me just equip the skill while we're here. Where is it? A lot of skills these days, huh? You wish we could search for them in the menu. Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's a lot of deck space spent just to do something that Rod already does. And then even further than that, Alistair can add itself to hand, and if we didn't discard it right, then we could normal summon it again, search Invocation again, go into Olgodes, which is pretty damn good for board breaking. Alternatively, instead of Mechaba, we could go into a Floodgate that makes it so that only one monster effect can attempt to activate, only one monster can attempt to attack. That's cool. Caliga's good. Like, we only really need to use the IP on the opponent's turn anyway, so that's fine. Caliga's fine. Mechaba's fine. Strictly speaking, I'm saying the Alistair package is strong. I'm not even saying it's bad. It's just not optimal. It's like you can play the Invoked package in your Dark Magician deck and you will do well. But you could do better. Just because something is good doesn't mean that it can't be better. You could be bad, you could be good, and you could be better. If you choose to be good instead of better, bad thing to do. You could invest all of these deck spots, or you could just play the Rod, which you're playing anyway. And then It goes further than that, guys. It goes even further than that. Oh my goodness. Let me check the DMs real quick. I got some DMs. Okay, cool. Someone sent me a deck list. I appreciate you for doing that, man. I am definitely going to be reviewing deck lists soon. I don't know a workaround, Couch Dog. Sorry about that, bro. Okay, it goes further than that, guys. With an Invoked package, it actually goes further. Now let's go back to the popular back row and monsters. I mean, fuck it, bro. Veiler, Imperm, Droplet. Let's say the opponent hits Magician's Rod with one of those things. If they hit Magician's Rod with one of those things, it means I'm not getting my search. I might not even get my Omni Negate. Okay? Transparent. To be transparent, I might not get my Omni Negate. But I might still get it using my other searches. You know, this deck's got plenty of searching going around. Alistair. If Alistair gets hit by Droplet, Veiler, or Imperm, we are definitely not getting our Omni Negate. Definitely 100% not getting it. I'm going to take it further because it still goes on. If Alistair gets negated, we can still use it as material for IP. Fine. If Rod gets negated, we still use it for IP. But then on the opponent's turn, we can tribute a spellcaster to add it back to our hand and use it again next turn. So Alistair adds itself back only if it doesn't get negated. Rod adds itself back no matter whether it gets negated or not. So Rod is clearly the more advantageous normal summon here. If you are going to be spending your one normal summon per turn on something, Rod is a far better choice because it is more advantageous to find an Omni Negate. It is more advantageous in a grind game. This deck is known for its grind game. It's also more reliable because the skill can get it for you. You have to dedicate a lot of deck slots to consistently see Alistair. Of course, you can draw into it with Souls and Servant, but that's not reliable. In order for it to be reliable, you just have to play a decently sized Invoked package in your deck. You don't have to play exactly 8 cards. That's fine. But regardless, you're still spending a decent amount of deck slots on this shit, man. It's not worth it when you could just do Rod, and it's better. Rod is so much better than Alistair in this deck. I'm not even saying the Alistair package is bad, but in this deck, Rod is just the better normal summon, man. It's kind of like, you could actually play the Invoke package in Blue Eyes. Like, the skill doesn't prevent you from doing that, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the skill does not prevent you from summoning the Invoke shit in Blue Eyes. So you could sacrifice your Kaiba Man for Mechaba. But that's, first of all, it's not reliable. And second of all, it doesn't let you do what the deck wants to do. The deck is better doing what it wants to do because it provides a longer grind game. The Alistair is its own game plan separate from the decks you try to put it in. If you want to play Alistair in a deck, there has to be something about it that benefits the deck that it doesn't do, that it can't do better without it. Okay? Same the other way around. Synergy has to be a mutually beneficial relationship. If Dark Magician suffers from Alistair, in other words, it's not better without, in other words, it's better without the Alistair, then cut the Alistair. Let me take a drink. Now, is there any questions before I move on from Alistair? Maybe in a 40 card deck, not gonna lie, man, even in a 40 card deck, in a 40 card deck, I would probably still not play Alistair. Because it actually gets worse, to be honest. I would just probably play more hand traps. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'd probably play more hand traps. Undead drinks. I drink water, man, and I drink milk. It's important. It's important for my bones. You didn't talk about Magical Meltdown versus Salvation. Ah, yes, that is another point. It is tech. It's not that big of a deal because what you could do is activate Meltdown then Salvation, but there are going to be certain situations where you start on Salvation just for deck thinning, and that is definitely a really big deal in this deck. Sometimes you really need the deck thinning to really truly optimize your draws. Sometimes you'll be in a situation where you activated Salvation to optimize a draw, right? You activate Salvation, set Eternal Soul from deck before using your draw effects, so that when you, and then you use your draw effects, you draw into Alistair. Actually, no, you don't draw into Alistair. You draw into Magical Meltdown to search Alistair, but you already used your Salvation now. So now you lose the Salvation reviving shit every turn, man. That's a big deal, man. And that's definitely going to be happening considering one of the main ways to get into Alistair is drawing into it. So what's the Excel Synchro doing there? Good fucking question, man. Very fucking good question. It's such a shit. Maybe I'll get on that next. Made me get an 80 card deck? Yeah, I guess. But even then, not really. Because that brings me to my final point about Alistair. It doesn't do anything for Dark Magician. It just exists. It's just there doing its own thing apart from Dark Magician, not supporting the Dark Magician. It doesn't make the deck more powerful or consistent. It just does its own thing, like parallel to the Dark Magician. And in fact, it kind of gets in the way by clogging up a main monster zone. We kind of fill up our monster zones pretty far on the opponent's turn with all our revival shit. We kind of don't want the mecha to be there because it's going to be clogging us up, to be honest, man. There's genuinely no reason to play Alistair in this deck. The only reason people are doing it is because they can draw into it. They think it's a cool thing to do. And that is my biggest problem with Dark Magician players, is that they try to do a cool thing instead of a good thing. Just because it's cool doesn't mean it's optimal. Just because it's good doesn't mean it can't be better. I want you to really take that phrase home with you guys, that just because it's good doesn't mean it can't be better, and just because it's cool doesn't mean it's optimal. Most decks are trying to do some cool shit, and I'm not going to say it's not cool, but I have so many arguments as to why it's not optimal. And that's really what we're trying to go for when we're building a game plan. Game plans aren't about picking your favorite cards. Game plans are about achieving a goal. Alright, let's stop talking about Invoked. That is probably the biggest deal, and if anyone has any more questions about Invoked, be sure to let me know and I'll talk about it more. I'll answer your questions directly. I don't want to repeat myself too much. Some of these things I will be repeating the same points, but if you have any questions, like you want some clarification on the Invoked package, then I'll definitely do that. Let me take out the Invoked cards now. Now, people have been asking about the Stardust shit. Why the fuck is this even here? So, the reason is that some people think that they're so smart. They use navigation to summon the Dark Magician and Fortune Lady Past. On the opponent's turn, by the way, okay, we got a level 1, like no attack and defense, like a 200 attack and defense. I don't know how the fuck. Anyway, I really don't know what the hell they're cooking with this, to be honest with you, man. They could go into Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon, tribute it to go into Stardust, and they use this, they revive this, right? And with Stardust, they go into Stellar Wind, we'll fry it. Like, what? I don't even want to explain why this is bad. To be honest with you guys, this is so stupid. How are you consistently making this happen? On top of the fact, if you summon this using navigation on the opponent's turn, by the way, okay, just keep that in mind, on the opponent's turn, then on your turn it's going to become level 2. on your standby phase, meaning that you have to go straight into this, meaning that it's not going to be unaffected by the Excel Synchros effect, meaning that these two aren't going to be that helpful. So then so the way I imagine that they're trying to go for this is they navigation on their own turn, which means that they wait 2 turns to activate navigation. What the fuck? Sincerely, what the fuck? Are you so stupid? Like, this is probably the most stupid thing. This is... let me delete this shit, man. It's so stupid. It is so ridiculously stupid. Oh my goodness, man. I'm gonna crash out. Alright. Let me stop talking about that shit, man. It's so stupid. Oh my god. It is so stupid. Bro. You want to wait to activate navigation on your turn? You're gonna be the dumbest motherfucker I've ever seen. Holy shit. Because if my back row contains a navigation, I'm using it on the opponent's turn. If it contains 2 navigation, it means I'm a bad player because I should have discarded that shit. You know what I mean? Bro. If I have multiple navigations, I'm not setting multiple of them. And if I have one, I'm using it on the opponent's turn. Obviously. What the hell? This deck also doesn't activate enough monster effects to trigger Wolfry out on its own. Like, summoning it as a follow-up play is not a move. You summon this as an opening play. Which means I have to believe they try to summon Dark Magician on their turn, and then just normal summon this bitch. The unsearchable one-off? Yeah, good luck with that. That is so stupid. Oh my god, it is stupid. It is so ridiculously stupid, man. Oh, it's so stupid. Anyone who plays this, stop it. You're giving me an aneurysm. Okay, moving on. Beatrice is something I can forgive. I can actually forgive Beatrice. I'm not saying that it's optimal, but it's something that I can forgive. Because with Salvation, you can revive Dark Magician Girl, and alongside the Apprentice, you can go into Beatrice. Beatrice, on your turn, can send a navigation. That is a negate online for you right there. On the opponent's turn, it can send Farfoot as a banish. It can send Tackle Crusader as a Book of Moon. That's fine. There's technically 2 interruptions. Okay? But, what's the alternative to this play? The alternative to this play is IP Mask. Now you tell me, what's better, IP Mask or Beatrice? Now this is going to be a bit of a controversial thing to say. I think IP is better than Beatrice, man. IP is more versatile than Beatrice. I understand the Beatrice, though. Like, because you are technically getting 2 interruptions out of it, but you're doing so in a way that takes away your other interruptions. You know what I mean? Like, so you would have needed to use Souls to revive Dark Magician with Salvation on the field to trigger to revive Dark Magician Girl as well. So you're not getting any draws from Souls. That's important to keep in mind, okay? But sometimes you prefer to do that to go into IP anyway. So what's the deal? Who cares? What if you involved Rod in your play? Then your field is a bit cloggy. Maybe you still want to go. Maybe you still can go into IP if you have enough materials. Maybe you go IP and Beatrice. Now that would be fantastic. The problem for me is that, first of all, even though I think that this is a strong play, this is a strong play. Don't get me wrong. This isn't anything like the Invoked stuff. This isn't anything like the synchro shit. This is a legitimately good thing to do. I can forgive it for that reason. And it is reliable too. It is reliable. But this deck has a couple bricks in it. We want to shuffle back with a skill. If we open Farfa, we feel so fucking bad. If we open Tackle Crusader, we feel so fucking bad. And the opportunity cost of having Beatrice in your extra deck means that there's one less card you can play in your extra deck, making your extra deck less versatile. Now, the opening play of this deck is so ridiculously strong without Beatrice. and having it and IP would be a very cool opening play. But considering the fact that we used salvation in the process of this, we would be feeling the clog very quickly, and we would be feeling kind of bad about it, especially if we went for the navigation situation. We, the clog is there, the brick is there, and the opportunity cost is there. That is, to me, what edges out the Beatrice. Now, if you send me a Beatrice list, I am going to be okay with it. If you are playing Beatrice, I'm like, that's fine. I don't think it is the best thing to do, but I'm okay with it. The only thing is, I would cut Tackle Crusader. Just play the Farfa. Just the Farfa itself. That's perfect. That's enough by itself, okay? Any more than that, I feel like you're really tripping. But I am technically okay with the Beatrice. I just feel, I personally, you guys have seen my extra deck. My extra deck is all links and a couple fusions. Because those links are giving me the ability to solve problems. Beatrice increases the ceiling and lowers the floor. I don't know if you guys understand what that means. The ceiling is the very best a deck can do. The floor is the very worst a deck can do. In order to have a very high win rate, you want to make sure that the worst that you can do is as high as possible. And sometimes that means bringing the higher lower, because the higher happening isn't going to happen as much anyway. So you want to make sure that at the very bare minimum, you're going to be fine. By making sure that your bare minimum is really good, that's really what you want to be focusing on. Because the more you try to push it, it's really cool, but it's like you're sacrificing your bare minimum. And by sacrificing the bare minimum, you're going to be losing when you don't have what you need to do the maximum, okay? So that's kind of the issue that I have with Beatrice. So I think I'll play all of these bad cards for fun. God damn it, I oh my goodness. So I'm going to take these cards out now. Let me do a little speed round real quick. I've seen people playing Chronicle Magician. This is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. I'm not even going to explain this shit, man. Stop playing Chronicle Magician. It is so stupid. It is not a good card. Mahad. Actually, I'll get to that later. Illusion. This card, being in your hand or searching it, is going to be so much better than, like, another one of these. This is so good because it works. Let me hold on a sec. It works so well with the combination, guys, and combination is, no joke, the best interruption in this deck. Other than technically the navigation summoning a floodgate, but this is technically the best actual interruption in the deck, and it combos so well with the Dark Illusion. This isn't just a cool thing. This is increasing your ceiling in a way that's consistent, in a way that's reliable, in a way that doesn't lower your floor, and in a way that increases your ceiling in such a very real way. Having this guy, oh, bro, I want to have this guy more than I want to have more back row, in fact. Like, oh my goodness, guys. Magician of Dark Illusion is so good. So, don't play more than one. Play the one, though. I've seen people playing less than 3 Rod and less than 3 Souls. We want to open these shits so that we can use our skills to search our more powerful cards that we might play one of. We play 3 of the consistency so that our skill can search the silver bullets. It's really that simple. Same deal with Apprentice too, to be honest. We play 1 salvation, no more, because we can search for it so easily and we are never going to use more than 1. We can also always get it back with the servant anyway. Preparation of rights. I mean, I kind of talked about this in the video already. Let me know, guys, is there any questions you have about Illusion of Chaos and Preparation of Rights that I didn't adequately answer in the video? Chronicle isn't good anymore. Aisha, it was never good. I wish you could send a DK voice every 5 seconds later to Peter. You're bad. You fool. Karibo saved your life. Yes, you know why it saved your life? Because you play it. I'll talk about that in a sec. Illusion can stay at 0. Illusion doesn't need to be at 0 because illusion is important to go into our Monster of Chaos. If not for that, we can cut it. A Monster of Chaos is really important in certain matchups because we need the specific Monster of Chaos Dark Magic expanded to OTK. That play is kind of important in certain matchups, so we kind of have no choice but to play the one Illusion of Chaos. Now, it's not bad to have in your deck because it can search shit for you. It's not bad to play, but you just play the one. And you're going to get it when you need it with the skill, pretty much. Because most of the time, right, the skill is just going to get the monster you need. And searching Illusion of Chaos is kind of going to be redundant because it's like you're going to search a searcher to just search the thing you're going to search in the first place. That's kind of redundant, so you don't need it. But if you need this ritual specifically to go into a fusion material, then you're not losing that monster search either, you know? So it's not bad to have. And it can also search Dark Magician, that's pretty good. So it's good. It's good to have one copy. There's no reason to play any more of it. I feel like that's enough. Since Summoner's Art is redundant, it just searches Dark Magician, minusing because you're tributing Rod. It's just a really awkward card, especially since you can so easily get Apprentice with a skill. So it's like, and this card can dodge Veiler, which is cool, but it's just not worth it because we don't really care if we get Veilered anyway. You know what I mean? Like it's not like Veiler on us when we have a weak hand is pretty important. But a card like this would be contributing to a bad hand in the first place. So we want to have as many good cards in our deck as possible to make sure that the Veiler doesn't impact us as much. So instead of playing a card that stops Veiler, we play more cards that invalidate Veiler. That's more important. Piercing the Darkness, it's a continuous spell. It doesn't matter if you're drawing a card every time you summon Dark Magician because we draw a million cards in this deck anyway. And it doesn't matter that it buffs up your shit that was summoned with a normal monster because I mean, we don't really need attack buffs in this deck. We already have the Apprentice to attack buff if we need it. And the fact that it's a continuous spell makes it really kind of bad when we are trying to set so much back row as it is. You know, we're already kind of clogged up for back row as we're speaking, so having this is not important. Strength and Unity. This is just like a worse circle. And it doesn't do anything else other than add back a Dark Magician. But we don't need to add back Dark Magician. We can just revive it with Eternal Soul, man. There's no point to this card. It's just a worse circle. Stop playing it. Inheritance can banish 2 spells from grave to add a back row. You don't need this because our searching is so poppin' already as it is. This is just never going to need to happen. It's also awkward to activate, to be real with you. Destined Rivals. If you control Dark Magician or Blue Eyes, negate all your opponent's face-up monsters. Now, technically you can search for this using any, because it does mention Dark Magician specifically. You can search this in any scenario that you could search for combination. And combination's an Omni negate, while this is a monster negate. But this can negate monsters on the field, grave, or in the hand. This can only negate monsters that are currently on the field. This doesn't care if the monster leaves the field, the shit still will get negated. This does care if the monster's leaving the field, it still gets negated. The only benefit to Destined Rivals is that it negates more than one monster. But if we wanted to negate more than one monster, we actually already have a way to do that. We already have Goddess. When this is summoned, it negates all of the opponent's face-up monsters. So this is kind of redundant. It's redundant, and every situation that we could search for it, we would prefer to search for combination because combination can not only negate monsters, in the hand and the grave as well, but can also negate back row. It's very important. So Distant Rival's kind of the worst you could play. Eternal Soul, the only reason I have it here, obviously you have to play Eternal Soul. I have seen people playing 2 Eternal Soul. Now, first of all, the deck is focused around protecting this or not setting it. You can either set it and not flip it up until you need it, so that way if they try to remove it, you just don't activate it, so that way it doesn't blow up your shit. Or you can go for the navigation play, which doesn't involve this being on the field anyway, so the Cosmic isn't going to really make a difference. Or, if you do flip this up and the opponent is going to Cosmic it, you use your negates to protect it. So this shit really shouldn't be getting banished. And if it does get destroyed, then you can add it back with Soul Servant anyway. So playing a second copy of this really doesn't matter, as well as the fact that if you simply cannot get it back for whatever reason, then you can still revive Dark Magician using Magician Souls. That, in combination with Circle, is probably going to be enough at that point in the game to finish the game off anyway. You're not going to really have another opportunity to activate another Eternal Soul, so you only need 1 Eternal Soul. Expanded, you search it when you need it. You don't really need it that often. You either use it to finish off a grind game or for the 1 ritual OTK. So you only search it when you need it, right? You don't need to play more than 1 of this. I've seen some people playing more than 1 copy of this. There's really no need to, because you search it when you need it, that's all. Literally same deal with Secrets of Dark Magic. You're only going to use it once, and if you do, for some reason, want to use it more than once, you can always add it back using Soul Servant. So you only need to play 1 of this. Okay. Now we can talk about Magic Karibo. Magic Karibo. Let me just see if you guys have said anything so far. Yes, your 3 illusions are technically useless, Peter, but do not fret, Peter. Technically speaking, preparation and illusion are a really good engine. You use preparation, illusion, and your souls as well on top of them. That's a 9-card engine that is super consistent, that can be used in other decks. So it's not totally useless, just in Dark Magician it is. You don't play the Navi package, that's why you need it with 2 prep. You don't play the navigation package. Jacob, the navigation package is what makes this deck good. Plain and simple, this deck would be so much less good without navigation. Navigation provides negates. It provides interruption in the form of floodgates. This deck would be infinitely worse without navigation. The idea of you not playing navigation is silly business, to be honest with you, man. If you're not playing navigation, you're not playing Dark Magician. It's like playing Blue Eyes without Majesty, to be real with you, bro. That's how silly it is to not play navigation, bro. So Jacob, you're saying that a worse version of the deck helps you because you're not playing what makes the deck good. We found the problem, bro. The problem is that you're not playing the cards that make the deck good. So you're praising these cards that aren't as good for helping you in situations where better cards would help you more. You see? You know? Destined Rivals play it for C-Reacts. Well, this isn't Master though, bro. We don't need that shit, bro. I don't know, C-Reacts isn't watching anyway. So, Destined Rivals might see won't play when Cash Tira arrives. Let me think. I don't know about that, man. I don't think so. I think that we're good enough anyway. How many navigations should you play? 2 or 3. I personally believe 3 is the right number because it means you can discard it most often. But 2, I would say the minimum is 2, so that 1 you can search 1 and then you can discard 1. But I really like playing 3 so that I can discard 2. Um, Sucks that navigation is so bad outside of Duel Links. Well, Dark Magician is so bad outside of Duel Links, man. Let's just be real. Uh, but it's like saying, bro, swords are so bad in Call of Duty, so I shouldn't play them in Assassin's Creed. You know, it's a different game. Let's stop trying to compare them. All right, we really should stop trying to compare them at this point. The context of the game are so far apart now that they're never going to be comparable anymore. Um, the things that make Dark Magician good in Duel Links won't ever apply in Master Duel. But that being said, the amount of advantage that Dark Magician has in Duel Links, that advantage is a very relevant amount of advantage in modern day Master Duel because it's a very relevant floodgate. Now that floodgate wouldn't work in Master Duel, but in Duel Links it has such an imposing impact by turning off a lot of skills that like Master Duel would not want to have that level of impact in it. It would be a bannable thing. Um, yeah, it may be Farfa's watching. Yeah, I doubt it, bro. I doubt he's watching a random Team 6K stream about Dark Magician, dude. Like, yes, yeah, I talked to him. I talked to him one time. Okay, made a video with him one time. All right, I don't think he's just gonna randomly. If he's gonna randomly watch Team 6K content, it's probably not gonna be a random Dark Magician stream. All right. Uh. Okay. So now we can talk about Magic Karibo. If you took damage, you can discard it to summon DM or DMG from grave. You play one of this, and you search for it, and it's a battle hand trap. Because realistically, who's burning you, man? Let's be real. They're not burning you. This is a survival card. You search for this, they attack you, you summon it. In other words, this only works when you're losing. Do you see the problem? I don't think you see the problem. This card is useless unless you're losing. Wouldn't it be better to search for a card that's going to make you win instead? Would you rather win or prevent yourself from losing? There's a very big difference there. Preventing yourself from losing is giving you more time. Preventing the opponent from winning is just giving you more time. But actively working towards your own victory, the opponent can't just wait for that to not happen. Now, this deck, it does have a lot of searches. However, those searches are used in very particular ways. Magic Karibo is so low on the priority list for searches because if I can search anything, first of all, I want to search my consistency pieces. Let me get my let me get my my apprentice. Let me get my souls. Let me get my rud. These are gonna get my plays going. Let me get my soul servant. These are gonna get my plays going. These are the primary searches I want to go for. After that, I want to go for my navigation. I want to go for my salvation. I want to go for my circle. I want to go for my combination. If I don't have, and if I have all of that, then I go for more navigation so that I can get more negates. And I play 3 navigation, so if I have as many searches as I fucking want, then I get all of my navigation, discard 2 of them with souls, and the 3rd with illusion. That's 3 extra negates I'm going to have on the opponent's turn. Would I prefer an extra negate with navigation or a hand trap that might not activate? Because if I used my negate, they're probably not even going to be in a position where I need my Magic Karibo. The card is only saving you because you searched for it instead of a card that was going to stop you from being in the position that Magic Karibo saved you from. Magic Karibo put you in the position to be saved in the first place. That's the problem with Magic Karibo. Like, it's like imagine if the government made a, like, I don't know if you guys have seen V for Vendetta. The government made a virus that threatened the public, the public health, and then sold the cure in order to gain control, ultimate control. So it created a problem in order to sell the solution. That's a bad thing. Magic Rebo created the problem because you searched for it instead of interruption. You see? Any questions on Magic Rebo? But it's good when Eternal is popped. Think about it. I just told you that instead of searching for this, you could search for Magician Navigation. What do you mean when Eternal Soul is popped? It's not going to get popped because Navigation negated it. Navigation negated the opponent's pop. You see? You see what I'm talking about? The idea that this is going to get popped, banish that from your mind. If you're preparing for it to get popped by saying, what am I going to do if it gets popped? That's the wrong way to prepare. The way you should be preparing is to protect the Eternal Soul. Either protect the Eternal Soul or don't flip it up. If you can't protect Eternal Soul, don't get it. If you feel like, for whatever reason, your Eternal Soul is going to be in danger, go for the Navigation play instead. Magic Rebo is not going to save you from any problems. Navigation is going to solve you from problems. Okay, Magic Rebo gives you the solution that it created. Navigation actually solves the problem of Eternal Soul getting popped. As well as combination does too. Like, if it's a monster effect, use combination to prevent it, or use IP to prevent the play that lets them do it. So, Eternal Soul is the most safe thing in this deck, man. We got so many ways to protect it. We have so many ways to protect it. It's just not gonna be popped. It's just that simple, man. And if it does leave the field, it's gonna be face down, so that it's not. You don't have to flip up Eternal Soul. You know what I mean? A lot of people will flip up Eternal Soul when they don't have to. You don't have to flip up Eternal Soul. You can just leave it face down while your other shit gets the game plan going, and just flip up Eternal Soul when you need it, or search Eternal Soul later on in the game. If you open up with Eternal Soul, it's because you have so many ways to protect it with so many other searches. Will you play some games? I'm not sure if I'm going to have some time, but I am going to watch some games. So that's probably even more important, because it means I'm going to have time to pause and explain some things. So there's Magic Rebo explained. Whew. Let me get the Xyz out the way. The Ebon Illusion Magician is cool at board breaking years ago. But it's not that cool anymore because it waits till the battle phase to do so. And the other weird thing about it is, like, if we have Navigation Engrave or Combination on the field, we want to have Dark Magician on the field so that we can use Navigation or Combinations negate. When we're breaking through the opponent's board, we want to be able to negate any way of them to prevent us from doing so. Xyz summoning Ebon Illusion Magician requires 2 level 7s, one of which is definitely going to be a Dark Magician. Meaning that it's going to be really awkward, because until Ebon Illusion Magician summons another Dark Magician, the opponent is going to have an opening to interrupt you while you can't use your Combination or Navigation negate. Having that one window of opportunity is so big of a deal. Same thing for Ebon High Magician, except that Ebon High Magician is just not a good card generally. You can activate a back row from your hand, so you can activate it from your fields too. Just set it to your field. Like, this isn't that good. On top of the fact that you can't really, like, if you're trying to go for a rank 7 play turn 1, your board is just gonna suck, dude. So yeah, don't play the rank 7s. They're like, Ebon Illusion is power crept, and Ebon High was just never good, to be honest. Like, it looks good to a newer player, but then in actual practice, it's so useless. Like, the floating effect used to be cool, but that's all. The Dark Magicians is a strange situation because you summon it on your turn and you try to search another Soul Servant and you set Soul Servant. On the opponent's turn, you activate Soul Servant to, like, let's say you search combination. That's going to trigger Dark Magicians to immediately draw combination, set combination, and flip up combination. It's the same situation for Navigation or Eternal Soul. You know? So, that's cool. That is cool. But, let's say, instead of going into Dark Magicians and setting a second Soul Servant, you search the combination. Just search the combination itself, set the combination itself, activate it on the opponent's turn. You didn't need to search the other Soul Servant to get that to make that happen. You used 2 fusion materials and a fusion spell to do something that you could have done easily just by searching the combination itself. And then all of those cards that you used to go into this, you could have used those searches instead to go into IP. So you're actually getting less interruption by going for this play. Now, the fact that Dark Magicians can search, can get in combination with Soul Servant, can let you use Eternal Soul or combination on your turn by searching them on your turn is cool, but unnecessary because these cards are not actually that good on your turn if you're trying to OTK the opponent. On your turn, if you're going first, it's redundant because you're going to use them on the opponent's turn anyway. Going second, you would much prefer to go for the OTK plays that don't revolve around the traps anyway. And you would prefer to use your fusion spells on the OTK fusions rather than this guy. So it's very redundant. It's cool technically from a interaction standpoint. The fact that it can search something which triggers the Dark Magicians to draw it and activate it right away even if it's a trap, that's really cool. I really like it technically, but it's not good. It's cool, but it's not good. I would even go as far as to say that this is bad because you're not ending up. We actually ended up with less interruption on the opponent's turn, and going second, you're going for plays that aren't actually that good at board breaking. So, like setting up Eternal Soul to try to interrupt them just gives them more ways to stop you. Because you haven't set up your navigations to protect the Eternal Soul. You haven't set up your combination to protect the Eternal Soul. Like maybe combination's cool, but it's not that cool. Like, so it's much better to go for the OTK plays I go over in the video. So yeah, it's redundant. Beat Cop is something I actually personally tried to make work. That's why I have it here. I understand the vision. The idea of Beat Cop is you can have it as a way to protect Eternal Soul from destruction, man. First of all, just to get this out the way, Cosmic Cyclone is the best back row removal in the game right now. Beat Cop doesn't save you. The other thing is that Beat Cop has to target a face-up card, and Eternal Soul isn't going to be face-up unless you go for the Dark Magician Soul Servant play, which is really kind of inconsistent and it winds up on so much weaker of a board. Like, you use so much resources just to get a counter on Eternal Soul just for it to get cosmicked anyway. Like, Beat Cop is a neat idea, but it's actually in reality so mid. That's why I feel like if you want to protect shit from destruction, go for the Proxy Dragon play instead. That's my thought process. Hold on, I think I just got a message. No messages. Okay, so that's Beat Cop. Alright, I'll go for Mahad next, and I'll talk about these two together. I do think this is technically the best ritual to summon if you are going to summon a ritual, but... Okay, so Mahad... let me see if you guys said anything. You can just summon if you believe it will get popped to Majesty. For example, then try to pop your Rod in Circle. If you think about that play, that's not going to save you from Majesty. Protecting one card from Majesty doesn't help, especially since you use 2 cards to do it, and then you lose the link in the process. to protect one card from Majesty. Majesty doesn't pop one card. Just letting you know that one. There are people who flip up the Eternal Soul after you target them. Like, they think if they... yeah, if you flip up Eternal Soul after it's been targeted, you're hilarious. And you're the reason people think Dark Magician is bad. Yeah, I understand dodging Veiler. That is one thing. Let me pull the Dark Magicians back. So, the idea is that you summon Rod, they Veiler you, you have Dark Magician and Secret of Dark Magic in hand. You activate Secret of Dark Magic to go into the Dark Magicians. Your Rod is no longer negated, but think about this. You needed to use your searches to get Secret of Dark Magic and Dark Magician. In order to protect one search, you used 2 searches. You could instead use those searches on the cards Magician's Rod would have searched. You see? So, instead of playing through a Veiler, you should invalidate Veiler, because it is more advantageous to do so. Like, let me play this. I know, like, I have Rod in hand, and I feel like my opponent maybe they have Veiler. 2 routes. I'm gonna go for the Magician's route first. I use my skill, reveal Rod, search Secret of Dark Magic and Dark Magician. I normal summon Rod. They Veiler it. I use my 2 searches to protect the one Rod and go into Dark Magicians. Cool. I have my 1 search from Rod. Let me go through the other route. I have my 1 Rod, and I search for combination and navigation. Actually, no, even better. I search servant and navigation. I normal summon Rod. They negate it. I use Soul Servant to search combination, and I have navigation and combination despite the fact that my Rod got negated. Rod could have given me 1 search, but with my Rod getting negated, I still kept my 2 searches. You see, it's okay for Rod to get negated. Just prepare for it in the way that you use your skill. I will talk about the priority of searching a bit later as well. So I hope that makes sense. The valid reason to play Mahad is kind of funny. It's twofold. First of all, it's an extender. It lets you link climb a bit more. The idea is that you use Soul Servant, put it at the top of the deck, use this effect to draw 2 cards. One of them will be the Mahad itself, and it'll special summon itself. That's pretty cool. Especially if it battles a dark monster, it gets double attack. Now that's cool. I'm not going to deny that that's cool, man. However, an attack buff is hardly a huge effect in 2025, especially when we have Apprentice that can do that. But the special summon, well, Apprentice can do that too. Souls can do that too. We're not exactly lacking in special summoning in this deck. We can combo without this guy, as well as the fact that this could have searched a card that this could have searched for either of those anyway, as well as these 2 also get more going for us. But that's not all this card does. If we get this guy on field or in grave, this card, Soul Servant, also gets to draw 3 cards. Now that is fucking cool. But there is a problem. There is a problem. And it's a big problem. And it's a very sad problem. Because for the memers out there, I respect the idea for drawing 3 cards from Soul Servant. The idea is cool. But to get this consistently going, the first Soul Servant has to get this guy. Meaning that he won't be in the grave or on field yet in order to get the draw. Because the draw is what got him out in the first place. He has to be drawn in order to summon himself. So that means that you're not actually going to draw 3 until the second time you use Soul Servant on your follow-up turn. Now, I don't know if you guys have played much Dark Magician, but on the follow-up turn, the draw 2 it's very nice, but you already have so much advantage that the draw to isn't even the important part. The search is the important part. One extra draw is not worth the brick that this would have given you. Very unfortunate. It's like technically it is it is advantageous because it's an extender, and on the follow-up turn you get a bonus draw. But that's too long to wait, especially considering that this card is a brick. You would want to search. You do kind of have to shuffle this back, and you would prefer to shuffle Dark Magician Gold if you have it. So it's like it's funny, but it's not good. You know what I mean? And it's not fun either because you gotta wait till your follow-up turn to draw one bonus card instead. You're drawing three instead of two. By that point, you got a million card hand anyway. You don't need the bonus draw so much. So it's kind of redundant. It's kind of diminishing returns and the opportunity cost of it being a brick. Now finally, the remaining bad cards. One of the best things that this deck can do is Dark Magic Expanded. If you have 3 Dark Spellcaster in your field engraved that are... If you have 3 Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl in field engraved, this card will make your shit unaffected. All of your Dark Spellcasters will become unaffected. Which is really helpful, especially considering that... this guy is trying to tribute lights and darks, so you are going to be trying to tribute other spellcasters. One of your spellcasters is also going to be protected, so that is really helpful. This also makes it so your opponent can't respond to your shit if you have 2 in grave. So for this reason, banishing shit from grave it kind of goes against what one of the better cards in your deck is trying to do. So you could say, let's just forget about this, because the deck technically can play without it, and I will admit the deck can 1,000,000% play without Dark Magic Expanded. It's good to have in some situations. It's great to have, but let's say in certain situations we prefer to just leave it in the deck, go for a Chaos Form play instead. Banishing a Dark Magician from grave to summon Magician of Chaos, and the benefit of Magician of Chaos too is it technically replaces Dark Magician in the grave. It is also Dark Magician when it's in the graveyard, so you can also revive it with Eternal Soul, or combination, or Salvation. All of those can use Magician of Chaos, so Chaos Form technically really does work for Magician of Chaos. In this scenario, Magician of Chaos validates the Chaos Form. But the Magician of Chaos itself, in my opinion, does not validate itself. You need to summon it, okay, which means you need to get a search for Chaos Form, a search from a Magician of Chaos. Of course, searching Dark Magician is not a problem. That's just going to happen just by virtue of you playing the deck. We don't need to worry about that. So we're using 2 searches for 1 interruption, but it's not 1 interruption, is it? It triggers off of another back row. So you could turn Eternal Soul into an interruption, flip it up. It triggers Magician of Chaos to pop a card. It targets a card or field and destroys it. Targeting and destroying. Sometimes we don't want to target, we want to non-target. Sometimes we don't want to destroy, we want to non-destroy. If something both targets and destroys, it loses some value, especially when there's a lot of protection going around. Like, for example, Blue Eyes does not give a shit about targeting or destroying. We want to make our game plan versatile. We want to make sure it can deal with a variety of things. And Magician of Chaos, while technically it would work, it could make your board better, it's not an interruption. It requires other cards to trigger. It requires 2 cards to get online. These 2 cards, we can consistently do it, but we could instead be searching other cards that do shit on their own, like Navigation and like Combination. We search those 2. Those are 2 interruptions. We search these ones. They are not even 1 interruption, which is kind of funny. It's like it strengthens another of your interruptions, you know, which isn't necessarily bad, but the fact that it costed 2 searches that could have been used on more navigations, that each individually could provide its own interruption, makes the opportunity cost is lost. So it is not advantageous to summon this guy. Now, if you're playing a meme ritual deck, it is cool to summon him because he can be revived with Eternal Soul. It's cool, okay? But that doesn't make it good. Especially if you have Eternal Soul, and Salvation. You summon it, Salvation triggers, then the Magician of Chaos triggers off of the Magician Salvation to pop a card. Kind of cool, you know? But it's only kind of cool. It's just, you would have more if you didn't go for this play. That's my problem. If you don't go for this play, you end up having more interruptions. So if that ends up being the case, then you cut it. Because without this, you're stronger. That's the main thing. If by cutting it from the deck, your deck becomes stronger, then you should cut it. That's just natural. Instead of searching Magician of Chaos and Chaos Form, I'm going to search 2 Magician Navigation, discard both of them bitches with Magician Souls, draw 2 cards, and have 2 extra negates to use on the opponent's turn. Like, bro, that's ridiculously powerful. Much better than a ritual that doesn't even trigger his own quick effect. Whoa, hello there, Psycho. Happy to have you here. I'm glad you came. Pause. The skill stops the Mahad summon. Let me see. I don't think it does. Yeah, it doesn't. It does. Oh, wait. Except for level light and dark spellcasters. Huh. I guess it does. It does stop the Mahad summon. That's crazy. It says level 8 light or earth, but it's a level 7. That's even worse, man. So Mahad doesn't even work unless you discard it with, like, Apprentice. That's actually crazy. That's worse. That Mahad is even worse than I thought it was, guys. That's crazy. So, guys, that is all of the cards that you shouldn't be playing, or you should not be playing those ratios of. I hope that makes sense. Before we move on to the next part of the lesson, let me show you guys my deck again. Pause. Okay. This is my deck. I fucking love it. Man, 3 navigation is so beautiful. I very often am able to get 2 engrave with Magician Souls and Apprentice. A lot of the time what can happen is I'll use Souls, discard one of them, draw another one. Apprentice discards the other one to start Magician, and the third one that I already have, I set that. Like, this happens more often than you might think with all the deck thinning. And if I have just such a good hand that I already opened the play, then all of my searches get to be used on bonus navigations, so I can get them all in the grave, and I get so many negates, man. The next thing I want to talk about. Hold on, let me check the chat first. Advanced Ritual is a better way to summon Magician of Chaos. That might be the case, Jacob, but you can't search that shit, so it's not good. You want to play reliable cards like I talked about earlier, and Advanced Ritual Art is not searchable within the deck. And if you played more cards to search Advanced Ritual Art in this deck, you would be cutting down on a lot of the important engine cards. What if instead of Dark Magician it was Death Magician? Then, well, alright then, man. Who said it isn't? Yeah, exactly, Psycho. Why can't make Magician Soul look nice with Aura? If I had 3 to spare, then I probably might do it. I just don't want to have 1 and not have 3. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll save up my Auroras. Next thing I want to talk about, though, is the search priority. I'm going to bring up the search priority more when I look at you guys' replays, but I wanted to show you guys the search priority first right before I get into the replays, so that uh, so that when we go into the replays, probably the main issue that you guys are having is using your searches wrong. Um, this if the game doesn't let this soul look good, okay, that's criminal, man. That's actually ridiculously criminal. Anyway, the first priority when it comes to searches is Rod, Souls, Servant. And like, if I have an extra search to use, I'm always using it on Servant because Servant gives me everything else, you know? But Rod and Souls are the most important thing because they are what gives you your primary form of interruption, your IP. IP going into Unicorn, going into Decode Talker for more protection, going into Goddess for for like kaiju removal, monster negation, graveyard revival negation. IP is just like the best you could get for an interruption in this deck. So always getting your Rod and Souls is important. Doesn't matter if they get negated, as long as you get them on the field and turn them into an IP, and as long as you can get a trap too. But other than those, I always get Soul Servant. A lot of the time, I might see you guys using Rod to directly search for navigation, combination, soul, or salvation. No, search Servant. If you're going to search something, search Servant. If you haven't searched Servant yet on that turn, or if you don't have Servant yet, get Servant. Because Servant is not a monster, so you can't Veiler it. That's important. But also, it just gets everything. So you might as well get it so that you also get that draw too. If you don't have Servant, and you use Rod to search Servant, then Rod getting negated means that you don't get the draw 2 from Servant. So instead, if you could search Rod and Nav, then instead search Rod and Servant. So that way, the Servant can search Nav if you don't have if the Rod gets negated, and like vice versa technically, but like the important thing is Servant is at the very top of the priority list when it comes to searching, alongside Rod and Souls. But technically, if you could search Souls with Servant, and that would be okay. But just make sure you use Souls to summon itself, or Dark Magician, before using the Grave effect of Soul Servant. Just that's fine. But you would have to have another way of getting souls in hand, like the Dark Magicians. You don't really want to do that. Why do I have the Dark Magicians in here? I took it out just I put it in just for like an example extra deck, but hold on. This is my actual extra deck. Double casted is fucking good. Next on the Actually, before I talk about what's next on the tier list, let me talk about what's at the bottom of the tier list, okay? Eternal Soul. You pretty much never search Eternal Soul in this deck, okay? If you're going to get Eternal Soul, you get it with Salvation. That's the plan. You get a Salvation so you can get Eternal Soul. I already talked about that in the video, but this is why Eternal Soul is at the bottom of the tier list when it comes to searching priority, because you want to get Salvation, obviously. But Salvation's only in the middle of the tier list because before we want to get a Salvation, Navigation is more important, Combination is more important, and Apprentice is more important. That is because these are the 3 cards you're primarily trying to search for. These are the cards, these are the consistency cards. At the top of the list is the consistency cards, but right underneath it is the cards that we are usually going for. We're usually going for Nav, we're usually going for Combination, and we're usually going for Apprentice to get Dark Magician so that we can even use Nav in the first place. So, man, we're already 2.5 hours in, guys. Anyone who is watching this whole stream is really dedicated to Dark Magician, obviously. So I'm very happy that you're here so you can get all of the wisdom. I'm trying to make sure that everyone who watches this stream becomes a true master of the deck. I do not want to see any more misplays. Now, you might be wondering, why do I have Circle so low on the list? Why do I have Illusion so low on the list? Why do I have the Fusion spell so low on the list? And why do I have Dark Magic expanded so low on the list. I play 3 Circle because it's really good to open it, but other than that, we don't actually need to have Circle in our opening play when we're playing Navigation, and so it's not something we always need to have. I'm cool with opening it because it makes my opening play stronger, but other than that, it's something that I might search now and then depending on the situation. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy to have it. It makes me stronger. I could discard some with souls if I have too many, but other than that, it's like it's not my priority. The higher on the on this tier list that we go, the higher the search priority it is. And so you might see that I do have Magician of Dark Illusion higher than Circle. That might sound weird to you, but the end board that you get with Magician of Dark Illusion when you flip up combination is actually kind of better than having a Circle around, because you get the revive of Dark Magician with this without needing to use the revive of Eternal Soul. And if like, and then you contribute the Dark Magician for combination with to bring back Dark Magician Girl, and then the Salvation brings back Dark Magician, and all of that fuels your IP to be so much stronger. This card makes IP better. That's what is so good about this guy. He makes IP better, man. IP is so much more likely to go into Goddess, and Goddess is a God card. I know it literally, it's in the name, Goddess. This is a God card. Like, I know that we have Slifer, Obelisk, and Ra, but this is the actual God card of Duel Links, man. You summon this, you're in such a nice position. So the more you can summon this, the better. You're still not convinced on Magician of Dark Illusion? It's a good thing I'm explaining it as we speak. This gives you so many summons on the opponent's turn, just by having it in your hand, that you're definitely going to be able to go into Goddess. And if you go into Unicorn, then your board is going to be so full of shit that, not full of shit, it's going to be so full of bodies that the opponent's just not going to be able to break through. Like, you're so alive, and you don't even have to use the Eternal Soul. Like, the Eternal Soul to revive something is extra on top of it. Like, this is definitely a card you usually search for into the Circle, unless that matchup you feel like the Circle is important. But we don't usually go for Circle if we go for the Nav play anyway. We go for the Circle if we go for the Eternal Soul play. But we often go for this instead of Circle for the Eternal Soul play, just because it makes the IP much stronger. But, you know, we do play 3 Circle and 1 Magician of Dark Illusion, because we really like having this. We would prefer to have this rather than search it. But obviously we can search it, you know what I mean. But that's why I have the ratios I have. I would prefer to search Magician of Dark Illusion, so I play 1, but I like opening Circle, so I play 3. And the other 3 cards in the same tier as Circle, it's because I search for them based on the situation. Do I need them? You know what I mean? And they're typically the exact same situation, which is I need them for the Master of Chaos OTK. That's why they're there. But this is good outside of it. This is good outside of it. This is okay to open, but we're not searching it outside of this, typically. Now, if you did want to cut this, I'm not going to be too mad at it. And if you wanted to replace it with something, I would say replace it with a staple, probably. You'd probably replace it with a staple. And if you wanted to play more staples, you can easily cut Circles to do so. You can also cut 1 Navigation to do so. I would not play 1 Navigation, because you want to be able to at least discard 1 with souls. So you could have it like this. You could even play 2 Dark Magician, that's fine. But other than this, you can't cut anything else. In my opinion, you can't cut anything else. Unless Mind of Air isn't good, like you want to replace it with Kaiku, that's fine. And you see my extra deck here is all focused, and this is for going second, this is for going second, this is for going first, this is for going first, this is for going first, this is for going first and second, this is for going first and second as well, alongside this. Now, Decode Talker, I haven't seen a lot of people playing Decode Talker. I feel like they don't know that this card is good. if you are gonna try to decode Talker, it's because your opponent, you know, your opponent has targeting effects that might mess you up. Like maybe the only out in their deck to your standard end board, like to your final end board, like because if you in a grind game, the final end board is Salvation, Soul, Circle, repeat, repeat, repeat every turn. If their only out to that is a Cosmic, and you summon Decode Talker, and you summon Dark Magician Girl to the zone it points to, they're fucked. They're so screwed. Especially if you have combination there too. Let me fix my deck real quick. Pause. Okay, so keeping this tier list in mind, what would you cut if you added 3 crows? Well, it's a good thing I just showed you, isn't it? If I added 3 crows, I would, me personally, I would cut 2 circle, 1 navigation. So I would still have 1 circle and 2 navigations left. What are your disruptions that you can make consistently turn 1? I can, there's 2 routes. I always have IP, and then I can have navigation, combination. That's the bare minimum. Navigation summons Mind on Air, combination to Omni negate something, and IP Masquerena to go into Unicorn or Goddess. That is the first minimum. Minimum, by the way. Okay? And then the other minimum is Eternal Soul with Salvation, maybe Circle or combination, and IP. So that's the IP is 1, the Eternal Soul, the combination is 2, and then Eternal Soul with Circle is like, the Circle would make it a third, and but if I instead went for combination or Circle, that's what I said. So Circle would make it 1, combination would make it 1, alongside the Eternal Soul. The IP is the second, and the IP is a stronger interruption because it can more likely go into the Goddess or the Unicorn. And Eternal Soul has a better grind game, and it also takes less searches to pull off, typically. And we also can more easily discard our navigations. So it's technically 2 guaranteed interruptions, but because of the fact that we have more searches available to us, we can more easily get our navigations to discard them. So it's realistically still a bare minimum of 3, but that's only the bare minimum. If you get another navigation, that's 4. Another navigation, that's 5. If you get this, that's another one too. Like, so you could really have 5 layers of protection on you, and then the Mind on Air realistically is the thing you're mostly going for. And just say that it's 1 interruption is a little bit disingenuous, because Mind on Air turns off a lot of people's deck. The idea is you summon Mind on Air, and if they can't out it, they lose. So they Mind on Air, they will try to do something about it, you negate it with combination. They try to summon enough monsters using what they have in hand, you use IP to disrupt them at the right time, and they can't screw you. Mind on Air is such a powerful interruption because it's a floodgate. It's a window situation. Like Shadows might not put up the most interruptions, but they got window. We don't put up the most interruptions, but we got Mind on Air. And the fact that we can summon 5 interruptions, not summon, but set up 5 interruptions, is still ridiculous. It's so funny to set up everything from Mind on Air to just draw it on your Lost Soul Servant or Souls +2. Yeah, that would be hilarious. That would be definitely hilarious. I feel like Decode Talker would be a much better turn 1 because we don't want to risk Eternal Soul being removed. Well, that's why when you are going for the Eternal Soul play, you're often more likely to get more bodies on board because of the Salvation providing more bodies on board by reviving Dark Magician Girl when you summon Dark Magician. That's more bodies for IP to go into Decode and still have something for it to point to. So Decode on the Eternal Soul play is so likely if that ends up being the right thing to do. So that is technically more protection. It's another negate. It doesn't interrupt them, but it does protect you. Also, Eternal Soul makes your Dark Magician unaffected by card effects. It cannot be understated how amazing this is for survival. Every turn you can just revive Dark Magician in defense mode, and if they cannot out the Eternal Soul, then you can just stay alive forever. until you can eventually draw into your pieces, which is so easy to do because of Magician's Rod. Magician's Rod adding itself back to hand to get Soul Servant, to get whatever you need, like a circle, to then revive Dark Magician again with Soul. GG's, bro. Fucking GG's. Okay. So now we have gone over that. Let's take a look at some replays, shall we? Okay, so first... Wait, I went to the wrong thingy. Wrong thingy again. Here we go. Ah, damn it. Here we go. My friend list is full. Okay, who am I going to delete? I'm going to delete you. I'm going to delete you too. Sorry, buddy. And then I'm going to delete you. Sorry, buddy. And you. Sorry, buddy. I don't know most of these people, not going to lie. Search. Peter. Send request. Okay. Peter, you're going to have to accept that. I'm going to get another one as well. Sending one to Holo as well. You better accept this friend request, buddy. So I can take a look at your replay. And while I'm here, let's take a look at a deck list. So G3X Hoosh sent in a deck list. Let me save it and show it on screen for you guys. You can send me your deck, and you can send me your ID if you want to, if you want me to check your replays. So right now, what I'm doing is taking a look at people's decks and replays. Okay, so this first deck list, I'm pulling up the main deck, and then I'll pull up the X deck as well. Okay, so extra deck and main deck. So the main deck has 2 Illusion of Chaos. This is, but he does have 2 Magician's Souls. So maybe his thought process is, okay, until I get my 3rd Souls, I'll play 2 Illusion of Chaos. That way it evens out. And I understand that. I'm okay with it. He plays 2 Soul Servant, and that is probably because he has only got 2 copies of it. That's probably the case. And that's fine. I'm not going to disparage somebody for being free to play. Other than that, I would say that this deck list is pretty solid. I will say, though, I think that you would probably be better off playing 2 Circle and 3 Navigation. Other than that, I think that the way that you've cut things up here is nice to fit in this 3 Crow, because Crow is quite good at this format, I think. So, you know, cutting the things you did cut for the Crow, you did a good job. Is there anything missing here? Yeah, it's just the Illusion of Chaos. If you don't want to play it, that's completely fine. I would recommend trying it out, though. It's not like Illusion of Chaos, not Illusion of Chaos, Magician of Dark Illusions. That's what I meant to say. You don't playing that, but I would recommend playing it. Um, if if you were to play it, I would cut out one of the illusions because the skill can still search souls anyway. It's just that playing 3, it buffs your consistency. Um, but it's okay to have to technically. This is a pretty solid main deck, and this extra deck is pretty good. I think the only difference between it and my main deck is that you have Nightmare Cerberus instead of Decode Talker. Cerberus is a little bit of a trap. It can only target the main monster zone, I'm pretty sure, and that's a little bit annoying. You can just make Unicorn instead, you know? Most of the time. And then in terms of monster removal, we also have the Moon of Closed Heaven here. So the Cerberus, like you could pretty easily get Decode Talker, and I really recommend it when you're going for the Eternal Soul play. So yeah, this is a pretty solidly built list. I would say this is a pretty. I would call this a good Dark Magician deck list. You know, I would potentially do a couple things differently, but that's up to you, bro. Let's take a look at Peter's deck list right now. Okay. Enlarge this bad boy. So you have 1 circle, 3 navigation. 3 navigation, fantastic. Glad to see it. 3 Cosmic Cyclone. I don't know about playing 3 of that bad boy, to be honest with you, but it does really help against this deck's worst matchup, which is Xenobirds. If we go first against Xenobirds, it's GG. If we go second against Xenobirds, it's rough. And I understand playing 3 Cosmic simply so that you can draw it in your opening hand without needing to skill or anything, so that you can target their back row right away. So that's a good reason to play 3 Cosmic, and the way you've cut the deck up makes sense. And while I could say yes, you could play a Magician of Dark Illusions. I wouldn't want you to cut the navigation for it, obviously, because having 3 navigation is awesome. But if you were to play it, I would cut one of the Dark Magicians, since playing 2 copies is perfectly fine. But I'm not going to lie, guys, sometimes, and also your extra deck is the same, which is good. Sometimes the 3rd Dark Magician actually for real comes up just to search it from Apprentice, and we have another discard fodder for Unicorn. Like that's come up for me. Legitimately, having the 3rd Dark Magician, it has come up for me. But if you were to play Magician of Dark Illusion, I would say you take out a 3rd Dark Magician here. But this is a solid list, Peter. Definitely a solid list. I'm glad that you've learned from this stream. Now we're gonna have a look at Jacob's deck list. Okay, I can already tell this one's going to be a little bit more... I'm going to have a little bit more to say about this one. Okay, big image. Very big image. Alright, I have a lot to say about the main deck. Let me have a look at the extra deck first. Okay, Amulet Dragon is a very bad card. Sorry to say it. That's the fusion in between Unicorn and the Dark Magicians. Amulet Dragon sucks. It's truly bad. It is truly abysmally bad. There is no reason to play Imduk and Artemis in this deck when you have IP anyway. IP is going to link shit off. Wow, I just noticed you don't even have navigation in here, dude. That's horrible. Without navigation, you're not going into Mind on Air, and you're not turning off people's skills. That is such a powerful play that the idea of you not playing it makes your deck infinitely weaker than any other Dark Magician deck. Even the bad Dark Magician decks are navigating into Mind on Air. The fact that you're not doing that, you're severely nerfing yourself in this. You just don't know what to cut it? Okay, let me build your deck list on my computer right now and tell you what to cut. And let me see, are you free to play? Yeah, you're free to play. Okay, so play 2 of that. One of that. One of this. Three of this. Three of this. Two of this. One of this. Two of this. Hold on. One of this. One of this. One of that, and one of that. This is what you have, and then you have 11 slots for external shit. That's a lot, man. Okay. How many cosmic was that? 3 cosmics. So, like I explained earlier, preparation is such a shit card in this deck because you only need 1 copy of this because you're only going to search for it when you go for the fusion play. Otherwise, it's redundant to search for this because you can just use the skill to search the card it was going to search for. So there's no reason to play more than 1, and also no reason to play any cards that search for it. Other than that, the Dark Magician ratios are technically fine. But you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 staples in here, man. 9 staples is a lot for this deck. If I was to really nickel and dime this, you gotta play 2 navigation. What else are you missing? You're missing more copies of this. You're missing this. Anything else? Okay, so if you really want to play 9 staples, let's see. So that's one extra card. That's an extra card. That's an extra card. Yeah, okay. So this is fine. If you really want to nickel and dime and play as many staples as possible, then this is the main deck I would 1,000,000% recommend to you. If these are the staples you're going to pick. Like, this is like the barest of minimums. But that being said, you are going to have a much worse time in a lot of matchups because your end boards are going to be much weaker. That is because your opening hands are going to be diluted full of these staples a lot of the time, which means you're going to be able to take a lot less advantage of the things that make this deck good. Actually, hold on, wait a sec. I forgot to put in the Mind on Air itself. What would you even cut for that? You would need to cut one of these staples. You would have to play 8 staples. So I would say probably Valor, since you can draw so easily anyway. Um, so yeah, that is probably how I would play your main deck. Yeah, this is how I would play your main deck to fit in the navigation package. But like I said, your hand's going to be more diluted because of the amount of staples you're playing. 8 staples is a lot still. Like, I would play 4 staples perhaps, at most, to be real. Like, 8 is okay. The deck is going to function, but you're not going to get the big end boards that have a whole bunch of negates on it. You know what I mean? And then let me have a look at your extra deck. Oh man. There's a lot of bad cards in that bad boy. Oh my goodness. So in your extra deck, the cards that I could tell you that you could keep in there. The other cards you're playing in your extra deck, the other 5 suck. Like, they're not bad cards necessarily. I mean, Amulet Dragon is a bad card. Rastalager is outdated. But other than that, they're technically fine cards, but they're not that good in this deck. Artemis doesn't make sense without the Invoked package. Imduk is useless. There's no reason to play Imduk anymore. There used to be a reason to play Imduk, but there's no reason anymore. Yeah, Amulet Dragon sucks. So this is why I have the Great Double Casted Caster in here. Because it's too good of an OTK not to include. It ignores a decent amount of boards in the meta, and that's why I also play a whole bunch of different Link monsters. You don't have to play necessarily the same Link monsters as me, but there's a bunch of good options out there that aren't Link 1s. The Link 1s aren't really going to be helping you. Other good Link 1s that I would say... other good Links in general that I would say are good for this deck. Link Rebo I talked about. Proxy Dragon I talked about. Cerberus is solid. I suppose that like the elemental Link 2s are alright. I don't know if we have the light and dark ones. We would need to have light and dark ones. I don't know if we have those. If we had those, you could play those though. I guess Underclock is okay, but that requires effect monsters. It doesn't work with Dark Magician. I guess World Gears is kind of cool if you use like a combination of Dark Magician, Mind on Air, Dark Magician Girl, and Apprentice Illusion. This guy needs 3 level 5 or higher monsters, and he's unaffected by monster effects, and he's 3500 attack, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, but I mean, you know, I've already showed you some good extra deck cards. This is a main deck that I think that you could play. So, screenshot because I'm about to take a look at someone else's deck. Hey, thank you for the subscription, Gampel is. Okay, so Hipfire Blade sent me a list. I think he probably already knows what I'm going to say to it. Okay, so here we have the Hipfire Blaze deck list with Invoked in it. So we only have one Beatrice target in the main deck. That's a good thing. Damn, you only have 3 Alistair. You don't have the field spell for it. Like, if I were to play Alistair, you're technically playing the right cards for it. But the rank, like, you're going for both rank 6 plays and invoked plays. I don't like that, man. I feel like if you're gonna play something, if you haven't watched the rest of the stream, you can probably go back and watch the rest of it, because I do talk about why Beatrice isn't as good as I think it isn't as good, and I also talk about why Invoked isn't as good. When I look at your extra deck here, low key, you're missing out on some of the best things this deck can do, because you want to do something cool that is a bit unreliable. I talk about unreliability in this stream, and your deck is entirely based around things that are unreliable. You do not even go for IP. You don't even have IP. That's actually ridiculous. That's actually embarrassing, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Artemis helps with the Monster of Chaos OTK. You already have a light monster on the field at the start of the game because of the Ultimate Dragon. So, and you can also revive it if it gets popped or something. Yeah, I understand that Beatrice gives you navigation gates. I definitely understand that, but there's an opportunity cost there. I explained it a lot more in depth earlier on in the stream. So Beatrice is technically good. I did talk about how it is technically good, but it's also unreliable in certain ways. Like, you're losing a lot by playing it, and you can have just as much value by not playing it. Like, the searches that you go for to go into Beatrice could instead be used to get Navigation Engrave anyway, you see. And you could still go for the IP. So you would have technically more going for you by not searching for the things you need to search for in order to go into the Beatrice. And the fact that you don't even play IP is like, you're missing out, dude. Also, here you have Book and Droplet. Back row based interruption that you draw into in this deck isn't very good, because we can very easily clog our own back row. So you would much prefer to have hand traps if you play any, other than Cosmic specifically to deal with the worst matchup, which is Shino Birds. You don't even play Master of Chaos, which is important in certain matchups. And without Master of Chaos, the Illusion of Chaos is kind of redundant as a card. Everything bad about this deck list, I've kind of already gone over in this video, so I'm not even going to try to fix it, to be real with you, bro. Is locked out by the skill? Facts. Well, you don't necessarily have to go Artemis, but you can go revive your... where is it? You can revive your Moon of Closed Heaven. Yeah. You weren't lucky with IP? Alright, I'm going to put you on game right now, buddy. I'm going to put you on game right now, okay? I'm going to show you my no IP deck list. This isn't my deck, by the way. This is me helping somebody else with theirs. But I'm going to show you my completely free-to-play, by the way. Free-to-play Dark Magician, okay? No IPs involved. Boom. Look at that. Linkuriboh Proxy Dragon. Big issue for this deck is the opponent's Majesty. Having Proxy Dragon as a way to protect you from Majesty is important. We want to max out on navigation to get out on Mind on Air to prevent the Blue Eyes player from activating their skill. We can probably summon Mind on Air to the zone Proxy Dragon points to, because by the time that they even use Majesty, we can destroy the Mind on Air anyway, because they got more shit going on. Or we could just summon Dark Magician to the zone Proxy Dragon points to, keep the Might on Air on field, and we could have it that way, revive Dark Magician later on in the game. It all depends on the situation and what you feel. You either summon Mind on Air or Dark Magician to the zone Proxy Dragon points to. And of course, the situation is you summon Souls, Rod, and Illusion, link off Souls into Linkaribo, and then link off Rod and Apprentice into Proxy. Now, there's a Link monster game. Let me check if it's in the game at all. It's a Link 1 that could help us further. We probably don't even have it though. Yes, Secure Gardener. What we could technically do, if we're not going for the navigation play, and we're instead going for Eternal Soul, is we could go, same deal, Linkaribo and Proxy Dragon underneath. Then we link off Linkaribo into Secure Gardener to the zone Proxy Dragon points to, so that we can just tribute the Secure Gardener. Eternal Soul can just revive Dark Magician whenever we want, rather than in order to protect the Eternal Soul or whatever. So yeah, we have this going for us here, and then we can still play more. Hold on, yeah, I'm going free to play, so I'm keeping 2 Soul Servant. And what else is missing? I want to play more Circle. That way I can trigger Eternal Soul more often against certain matchups. And if you want to play Staples, were you playing Staples? You were playing 3 Staples, weren't you? If you are going to be playing Staples, I recommend Cosmic or DD Crow. Primarily Cosmic, because the worst matchup for this deck is Shinobirds. Cosmic, obviously good against Shinobirds. So yeah, that's what the Cosmic would be for. But if you don't like Cosmic, there's DD Crow. You could cut out 1 navigation as well, so you could get in 4 Staples of your choosing. Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much and then like the remaining 2 slots, I find whatever. Like, I definitely think that Phoenix is important. And if you don't have Goddess, but if you don't have Goddess, then don't worry about Moon of Closed Heaven. But these 2 are very good together, even if you don't have IP. Just to go into this as an OTK play, to use 2 opponent's monsters to go into Underworld Goddess. And if you were to cut something in here, then if you really want the Secure Gardener, then you can keep that. And if you really want the Double Gasted Caster, you can keep that. You're going to have to pick one between these 2. So yeah, here is the basic main deck and extra deck. You can make your choices from here. And if you want to know the game plan further in depth, then you can check out my advanced guide is on the channel. Let's see. Okay, so Ali, I checked your deck list. If you want to play Cerberus or Linkaribo, you can play Cerberus. Cerberus is completely fine. Crimson Reaper. Okay, he's sending me something for Altergeist. I'll check that out later. Very prismatic deck, by the way. Go subscribe to Crimson Reaper if you want to learn more about Altergeist. You can't revive the moon either. I don't remember ever needing to revive a light because of the ultimate dragon. So that's probably true. Would Allure of Darkness work? No, don't play Allure. Don't play Allure, bro. There's no reason to play Allure. You don't want to banish your Darkstorm hand. You want to use them. Okay, is the new box worth ripping if you don't have Rocket set up already? Nah, not really. Unless you really want Flu Underease. Flu Underease is the main reason you would open this box if you don't have the Rocket stuff. Okay. Now let me check to see if anyone has gotten me those friend acceptances so I can check out replays. Friends. Okay, Peter. Okay. 1 against Young Hollow. Let's take a look. No problem, man. I really enjoy when people come out and want to become better. And like I've been playing Dark Magician for like 8 years. I played it in every format that it can be played in except for Rush Duels. Like I got a lot of knowledge to give for Dark Magician. I won a lot of money from playing Dark Magician, and now that it's in Duel Links, I don't need to win money in Duel Links. So I'm all good. I already know what I'm doing. I just want to share my knowledge now for the people who are just getting into it. And a lot of people are just doing a lot of things that are like. Let me be fair to everyone. A lot of people are doing things that are cool, definitely cool. Things that I think are cool, but aren't necessarily optimal. I'm really trying to get people to hone in on the game plan, the ultimate game plan that is just so difficult to break through. Which is you set up your win condition and protect it with a bunch of negates. Like that's pretty much how it goes. Okay, this, by the way, this Sword Soul player, very gorgeous. This is a gorgeous deck. Very well done. With a, okay, so Cosmic Cyclone off rip, Blind Cosmic getting negated by Dragite, Darkened Chaos, searching, Ultimate Fusion, well not searching, but getting Ultimate Fusion, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, and putting BLS in Grave, using a skill to search shit, putting Mind on Air back in the deck. What are we doing here? Okay, Ultimate Fusion off rip. What are we destroying here? Okay, we're getting rid of the monster negate here. Perhaps he wants his monster negates more than anything else. We're going to keep this in mind just in case. I think it might have been better to destroy... No, that was the right choice. Yeah, that was the only choice because he can't destroy this, and getting rid of this is redundant because he's already baited out that interruption. So yeah, he did destroy the right card in this situation. Okay, so Droplet is going to negate that Rod. That's good because we don't necessarily need Rod to resolve all the time. But what did he search for? He searched for Rod and Souls. That's good. But does he already have Servant? That's what I want to know. He does have Servant. Yep. He's going to get Circle. Rip Circle. Okay, he misplayed. He misplayed right here. What he should have done first is either use these two to go into Phoenix to destroy that back row. That's the first thing he should have done. Then he should have summoned Magician Soul, sending Dark Magician to Grave so that the Soul Servant can draw 2 cards. That is the way I would have gone for this. We don't need necessarily all this attack power. We just need to break the board. Okay, Dark Magical Circle is here. Blackout is going to pop shit. See, you wouldn't have had to deal with that if you used the Monster Knight and the Rod to destroy it with Blackout. In fact, Blackout wouldn't have even been able to activate if you went into Phoenix with no other cards on the field. And now Chen Ying's going to banish shit, dude. You're screwed. You're really screwing yourself here. Okay. Okay, GG. You lose. And you could have won too. So, hopefully that's helpful. Another one against what looks to be BLS. Is Daybreaker Link 2 worth running? Yeah, I think so, probably. If you're free to play. Don't have any better options. Okay. We've got Peter on this side of the field now. By the way, what the hell kind of Mat and Sleeve combination is this, bro? This is Dark Magician, man. This isn't Insects. Okay. Souls and Rod. That's solid. Rod Searchers, Salvation. Now, did you already have the Servant? If you already had Servant, that's fine. But if you didn't already have Servant, then you shouldn't have searched Salvation. But what is the opponent playing? We don't know exactly. Salvation, thinning the deck, getting Eternal Soul. Soul Servant. Draw 2. Okay, it's a good thing that he did this before using Soul Servant because he's thinning his deck. Deck thinning is deck winning. He gets his circle. Circle gets another navigate. Oh, bro. Souls discards Cosmic. What are you doing? You should have discarded your navigation, bro. You already have Eternal Soul. You got to discard your navigation to protect the Eternal Soul, man. He's got the IP at least. Discards another Cosmic to go Apprentice. Gets a Dark Magician. Summoning to that middle zone is a good idea because if he summons something else, like Dark Magician Goal from Salvation, then he can link off with IP into Decode Talker, and then he can tribute the Apprentice to protect his back row. But he's got the navigation here. It is redundant to go both navigation and Eternal Soul. They both provide the same thing, especially with Salvation on board. Your board is going to be too clogged to realistically do both. If you're going to go navigation, then if you're going to go navigation or Eternal Soul, go one or the other, and the other back row you search should be combination as an Omni Negate. That is what you always go for. You go for one of the summoning traps and combination, as well as the fact that you should have used souls to discard this navigation. But you know, this guy, his opponent is not a very good deck, so it doesn't necessarily matter. IP into Decode. Okay, little bit of a misplay here. There was no reason to keep DM on field right now, especially because you could revive it with Eternal Soul, so you might as well have kept the Apprentice on field in case he had any targeting effects on your draw phase. But I guess Eternal Soul is going to bring it back anyway. But you could have just you could have tributed this one, brought it back, and kept the Apprentice for battle, and then triggered the circle. Then you tribute the one that Decode points to, bro. Decode's there for a reason, man. You gotta have something in the Decode zone as much as possible so it can tribute something to negate a targeting effect. What if the other back row, right, targets Eternal Soul? Then and they activate it on your draw phase. You want to be able to negate it right away. Okay, but of course you win because the opponent's not playing a very good deck. Let's see if you got any other replays with Dark Magician. Okay, here's one against Blue Eyes. I'm hoping, Peter, that you become a really good Dark Magician player because of this stream, bro. Okay. Alright, so the Blue Eyes player had a 10-game win streak. Alright. Gets Kaiba Man. Damn, all three Blue Eyes in the deck, man. Getting that Spirit. Melody. Discarding Jet. Jeez, what a hand, man. What a hand. He's got True Light. True Light should set Majesty. Yep. That's a great end board. If he had opened Majesty, he could have summoned back a Blue Eyes and gone into Ding and Girsu as well, which would have protected him from the what's technically about to happen. But Majesty is more important if he didn't open it. Searching Illusion of Chaos. Looks like he's going for that play. Illusion of Chaos searches Souls. Okay, there's no reason to okay, see? Dark Magic attack. Majesty is going to pop your shit. See, you didn't search for Dark Magic attack, which is why he didn't pop your Dark Magician beforehand. So you are just lucky enough to draw into it, and it seems like you're still gonna lose your shit. Um, True Light, Jet is gonna come back. Spirit is gonna. What he should have done. He negated his own Jet Dragon, which is kind of hilarious. What he should have done is True Light activates. Spirit Dragon negates True Light, and out of trigger from True Light being destroyed, Jet Dragon triggers to come back. That's how he should have changed it. But this Blue Eyes player apparently isn't that smart. So he negated his own shit. I'm not gonna lie, bro. You should stop going for Salvation so often. Salvation is not something you go for all the time. Also, if you're gonna go into Secrets of Dark Magic, it's a quick play spell. You can do it during the battle phase. Just saying. Okay, Ultimate Fusion. Okay. Nibiru, listen, man. You could have won. You could have won the game if you just didn't overextend. That's not even a deck playing thing. That's just a hey, stop doing too much. You know what I mean? If the only thing you did was just activate Ultimate Fusion, you could have just punched in for game. That's all. That's a huge Nibiru. That's one of the bigger Nibirus I've seen in the game. Eternal Soul, revive DM. He's going to banish. Salvation is going to trigger to revive. Majesty is going to go into Chaos Dragon. Chaos Dragon is going to change things to 0 and go into attack. Yeah. GG's. And Eternal Soul does trigger when it leaves the field at all. So, yeah, cooked. Absolutely cooked. And you would have won, like, you didn't necessarily, like, if you didn't go, like, this game would have been in the bag if you, first of all, didn't go for dark magic attack. And second of all, just didn't overextend. So I guess that you already learned that lesson. Here's one against Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. I don't play Master Duel, Jacob. You only have 1 souls. What do I do? Get 2 more of them. That's what I say. No Goddess or Moon. That's okay. Play other Link 2s. Okay. Okay. Servant for Magician Salvation. This is a key thing Peter keeps doing, as he keeps prioritizing salvation instead of navigation. You don't, like I already said this, but you want to go navigation combination. Navigation combination is your main go-to, pretty much all the time. So he has navigation. I imagine that this is a combination back here, but he shouldn't have searched for salvation. He should have searched another navigation to discard it with souls. See? That way he would have another negate. He would have a back renegade here to protect his Eternal Soul. So not his Eternal Soul. He would have just a back renegade in general, which any back renegade is going to be good. And this guy does have backer in his hand. He can negate the emergence. That makes a big deal. You didn't have to activate combination. You can just keep it face down, keep him guessing. But yeah, you could have negated that, and they wouldn't have had that Moye, and they wouldn't be able to use the skill to search Moye either because of Mind on Air. So the opponent would have had even less to do, potentially. But yeah, you negate the long one here. And Circle banishes that. And Ecclesia happens. Masquerena happens. You go into Unicorn.
you would have had another card. You would have had so much more going on if you had searched another navigation instead of salvation to discard it. But yeah, this is obviously GG. Dark Magician is really that strong that even if you search the wrong things, you're still going to win a lot of the time. Okay. Looks like this is it for Peter. Let me see if Hollow has accepted the request yet. Okay, he hasn't. So, is there anything I've forgotten? Was there anything else I said I was going to do? Because we have been here like 3 hours. It's not necessarily that Peter's getting cooked. It's that Peter's getting trained. I really think that Peter has the capability of being a very good Dark Magician player. He just needs to learn what he's doing wrong. I truly believe that knowing the right things to do isn't as important as knowing the wrong things to do. When you know the wrong things to do, then it it aids you in doing the right things more often. Understanding the wrong things gives you a better perspective on why you do the right things, and why you do things is often better than just doing the right things. So here he learned that the main thing to go for is navigation combination or salvation combination. It's one or the other. You don't do both. You don't do salvation navigation. You pretty much never do that. I mean, if you just happen to have salvation navigation combination and you didn't search for them, then that's fine. You can use salvation at the end. But if you have any bonus searches, all of your bonus searches go to navigation, like pretty much all the time. If you don't need extra searches, use them on navigation and discard them with souls so you get bonus negates. The bonus negation of navigation is probably the number one most underrated thing in this deck. People don't think this deck is as good as it is because most people are not searching a bonus navigations to discard them. Okay. I am willing to check one more person's replays before I head off because I have been here for about 3 hours and a half and I am getting tired. And I'm happy to teach you guys 1,000,000%. I'm so happy that you guys are coming out here to get good at Dark Magician. I really appreciate you guys for coming out and supporting my favorite deck here. But if you guys want to see, but if you guys want to show some replays, okay. So it looks like Ali has sent me his code, so I will have a look at his replays. I'll send you a friend request, Ali, and you just go to accept it. Okay, let me know when you've accepted it, Ali. Play one game, you need to see you in action. I mean, you see me in action in the video I posted a couple days ago. That video was what you're supposed to do. This stream is what you're not supposed to do. That's why I'm looking at other people's games. I'm really glad that you're giving DM a try, Hasoon, bro. And Benox, if enough people want me to, I will have a stream of me playing Dark Magician, okay? But this stream, the purpose of it at least, is to tell people what they're doing wrong, so that they can do the right thing. Okay, let me take a look. Hey, here we go. Okay, so Dark Magician against Chimera. Monster of Dark and Chaos. First things first. You gotta play a bat in sleeves, bro. At least a sleeves. You gotta play some sleeves to at least make yourself look cool. You can't have your opponent looking cooler than you, bro. You gotta flex on the opponent in some way. Okay. Searching navigation. Now I'm hoping that you have a Soul Servant in hand, because it's better to search Soul Servant than to search a Soul Servant target. Soul Send Dark Magician to summon itself. Okay, we do have Soul Servant, that's good. And using Soul Servant's Grave Effect after summoning souls, that's good too. And he's searching for Magician of Dark Illusion, so hopefully... So usually we go for Magician of Dark Illusion after we get when we go for the Eternal Soul play, or when we go for the strict combination play, because sometimes we can only go combination and no other back row. That's okay too sometimes. So Rod grabs navigation. We got 2 navigations now. Souls discards 1 navigation. We go into IP, and we end our turn. Okay, so navigation gets Dark Magician and Mind on Air. That's good. Dark Illusion gets to the field, and he kaijus it. Okay, alright. He kaijus this. Kind of a strange thing to kaiju, but that's okay. Summons this to the field. You discarded navigation, right? So you still have a back renegade. He should have kaiju'd your Dark Magician to turn off your back renegade, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, no, it wouldn't have made a difference because the Magician of Dark Illusion is also Dark Magician, so... Yeah, I guess maybe he did kaiju right, but maybe he could have kaiju'd the Mind on Air. IP. Sword Knight is going to negate. Chimera Fusion, navigation negate. He's going to Crow banish the Chimera Fusion too. Nice. GG. Hell yeah. Did you do anything wrong? Not necessarily. No, I don't think so. I think that you got 2 navigations. You could... I think getting bonus navigations is always a good thing, but in this situation, instead of the second navigation, you should have gotten a combination. The combination would have made the illusion better, and yeah. Instead of the second navigation, you just get a combination. Other than that, you played pretty well. Because an Omni-Negate is better than a back row negate, you know what I mean? We got one against Blue Eyes. Yeah, there's time can definitely be an issue, Benox. The way I deal with time is I primarily just try to go for combination navigation every time. It's just easier that way. And then all the extra shit I do, I just try to muscle memory it. So going first here against Dark Magician. So we should be going for the navigation play. We did search for a navigation, so that's good. Looks like we're searching another navigation. Valor negating, so that's good. Low-key, you should have drawn 2 first. You should have drawn 2 cards first, then discarded... just in case you had more navigations. Like, let's say you drew 2 navigation off of this. Then you could discard 2 navigations. It doesn't matter if they Valor it. You got 2 navigations engraved, you know? Apprentice gets a Dark Magician. Link off into IP. Okay. Navigation. Go for Mind on Air. It'd be like that sometimes. Okay, so you can still use Imperm to deal with Mind on Air, but we have a navigation in hand to negate the Imperm. The only issue is that... let me see. He's got Droplet. Okay. He can set Majesty from deck, but he can't activate it. He can set Eternal... Nah. I think he's cooked. I think the opponent's cooked. So Bingo is here. He can search Blue Eyes. No, you fool, bro. You shouldn't negate that, bro. No, no, no. Don't negate that. Negate the things that threaten you. Like, you knew the opponent had Imperm because of the Mind on Air. You shouldn't have negated that, bro. What? The opponent didn't Imperm you? I think the opponent might be a fool, bro. He might be an idiot. And you had the IP. That's crazy. Okay, but I did tell you what you should do differently. So, it is what it is. Okay. That's cool. It's solid. The opponent's a bit of a fool. You were a bit of a fool, but I did tell you what to do differently. It was mostly fine. You're not that bad at this deck, man. Okay, and here we go against the bad matchup, Shinobirds. It's the only matchup I'm willing to call a bad matchup. Is it not Shinobirds? No, it's Blue Eyes that plays the Shino Baron. Okay. So this is a good matchup then. Okay, grabbing the Soul Servant. That's great. That's great. Rod searches Salvation. So you're searching Salvation. You should probably search for Combination instead. This is good. Probably should summon in defense just in case, but you're getting that combination anyway. The reason I say you should go for combination is that you should be going against Blue Eyes. You should go Navigation combination, not Eternal Soul combination. Eternal Soul isn't as good against Blue Eyes. I mean, it's not bad against Blue Eyes. Like, I'm not saying it's bad against Blue Eyes, but you want to specifically go Navigation so that you can go Mind on Air, turn off their skill. And all of your navigations go to the grave. All of your bonus navigations, I should say. So we've got IP, Salvation, Eternal Soul, 2 back row. So I'm hoping one of these is a navigation. It is a navigation. Okay, so instead of searching Salvation, you should search another navigation to discard off of the effective souls to get another back row negate, so that you can negate Majesty without spending your Omni negate. It might not matter though. Yeah, the opponent didn't have an out. Yeah, GG anyway. Like, a lot of the time you are going to win just off of the value of Mind on Air, but if the opponent has a good enough hand, you still want to be able to have extra navigations. Instead of searching Salvation, search an extra navigation, discard it in case you want to negate a Imperm, a Droplet, something like that. Or even just negate Majesty with it and keep your Omni negate for something else, you know? But yeah, thank you guys for coming out. Thank you for sharing your deck list and replays. I've had a lot of fun helping you guys out and talking about my favorite deck more. But yeah, we've been here for 3.5 hours, bro, and boy, are my arms tired. So, and I need to go pee too, so. But hey guys, thank you for coming out to the stream. I'm working on Shinobirds now. I'm probably going to work on Rockets and Fluunderies as well. I'm very excited for the month of November. We got a lot of shit coming. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for coming out to the stream. And yeah, if you guys have anything else left to say, let us know. The opponent is lacking certain brain function. Hey, it is what it is, bro. Sometimes it just is what it is. Oh shit, bro. Well, hey guys, it's been good hanging out with you guys. And you know, if you guys want me to stream more often, then let me know in the comments as well. Or just let me know on Discord too, because I really like streaming. I'm not gonna lie, especially if I'm talking a lot about a deck that I like a lot. But yeah, guys. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Probably gonna be Shinobirds, to be honest. But yeah, guys, have yourselves a good one. I've been Undead from Team 6K. Signing out.
Hey, why they gotta hate on me? I done got me 250,000 views and they still saying they low key. They ain't wanna come work with the kid, but I'm flexing with Zay on beats. How they ask for a spot at the gym, but they leave all the weight on me. I don't ask them to wait on me. They would ask where they gon' be with a song if they wanted the weatherman. I ain't ask them to pay no fees. She was homeless and needed a spot. I ain't ask her to pay no lease. I ain't ask her to say no please. I ain't ask her to make no cheese. Scream fake, but it ain't on me. Got clean so it ain't no streets. Why green if it ain't no keeps? Brought cream so it ain't no beef. My team say it ain't no chief. My demon, they hang on me. They seemingly ain't no peace. I seen him, he ain't no beast. For real, I ask them, why they gotta hate on me? I done got me 250,000 views and they still saying they low key. They ain't wanna come work with the kid, but I'm flexing with Zay on beats. How they ask for a spot at the gym, but they leave all the weight on me. Ain't nobody harder in the country. If they claim they in front, then they frontin'. Think about it, they always talking about they bag and they stick, bro, that's literally bumming. Niggas can't even rap on the beat, gotta do hella cussings to know where to come in. Then these niggas go do R&B, but they not even singing, these niggas be humming. Niggas stop with the cap or it's 76ers, cause I'ma have to bring the drum in. When I'm fucking my girl, it's like doing the rain dance. Whether can you come in, you ain't get what I said, or see what I'm doing like Helen Keller when I'm bumping. Should I try to tell you I'm the one and ain't nobody better or younger? I ask her, hey, why they gotta hate on me? I done got me 250,000 views and they still saying they low key. They ain't wanna come work with the kid, but I'm flexing with Zay on beats. How they ask for a spot at the gym, but they leave all the weight on me. Damn, I ask them, why they gotta hate on me? I done got me 250,000 views and they still saying they low key. They ain't wanna come work with the kid, but I'm flexing with Zay on beats. How they ask for a spot at the